Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. Today we are going to be doing more of the Orrerry. Well, we're going to be starting the Orrerry. However, before I begin, I want to introduce Horlicks.
Good evening, everyone. How is everyone's Saturday? I have been ill, but I've recovered quite well actually. I don't seem too bad. Not as bad as I was yesterday.
Good. So I'm actually not feeling too good myself. I hate the heat. I'm just so blue when it comes to the heat. But here we are. Got to put up with it. My weather will come in a few months' time when it starts getting cold, and we're all wearing scarves and big duffel coats. So first of all, hello to Adrian Langley, hello to Caldecott Bus Spotters, and hello to Dave Mill. So, now we were discussing this morning. We don't think there's going to be an awful lot to actually do. The problem is that a lot of it has obviously been done during the week. If we did more, so there's more to do on the show, there would be too much to do off camera. Do you want to introduce the parts, Horlicks?
Yeah, so obviously this week we're going to be doing the base. So we need, just out of interest, I'm not sure if there would be, is anyone doing this along with us since watching last week?
Hopefully they will be, because then we can all muck it up together. We're going to be honest with you guys. We're not 100% sure if it's going to work. We can't figure it out.
That's the thing, isn't it? Because we did figure it out when we were planning the project.
Well,
but because we've had a bit of a break from it and now we've just started it up. Yeah, I mean, I'm confused about what's going on with this and where things are going, because the manual is a little bit more jumbled than I remembered and vague. Yeah.
Just that what I'm confused about is you've got this mower with this little arm on it, and there's going to be a cog on it, and it looks like that cog is going to be. I'll let Horlicks explain the parts first, because otherwise I'm going to end up showing you parts that you haven't seen in real life yet.
Right. Okay. So this is the base that I've printed. Let me just move my camera. So, right, this is the base that you should end up with,
which coincidentally is the same color as mine.
Yes. And then in the bottom, it's a bit mashed up because I was practicing, but you've got two screw holes, and then you've got this the hole in the middle, which is where the shaft is actually going to fit. And then in this hole there's a recess. There'll be a bearing that sits in there. And then obviously we've got four. Right, we should have 5 legs, which look like this. And then the only way I can sort of explain this is anyone who's put up a Christmas tree. It's a very similar sort of leg system to a Christmas tree.
Yeah. I mean that.
So that's what you should have so far. And I don't think we asked you to print. Actually, I think we did. This is the motor mount, and it's got 3 holes in it. And then on the top there, you've got 2 other holes. And that's obviously, that's where the motor is going to fit through. So this is the geared motor that will fit underneath, and then that'll keep that into place. Where, as Penny just showed, we'll have a cog that sits on there, and then what will happen is the cog will then drive another cog, which in turn will drive the shaft that comes through the middle of this unit here. However, it's a little bit confusing, isn't it? Because obviously the sun is going to go on the top, and it's saying we're going to use an 8mm tube here.
But the sun goes through a 4mm tube.
Yeah, but the sun is as you can see, it's got a really, you're not going to get an 8mm through there. So it's a little bit confusing unless obviously one of the other tubes goes through the middle of that tube. I don't know. I mean, we did sort of have the gist of it, didn't we?
Yeah. It's just that where I'm confused is that the motor on the motor mount, it looks with the cog on, it looks like it's going to be turning something that's going to be attached to the rod that goes through the 8mm on the 8mm hole. But what you then want is the planets rotating independently around the rod. So the rod needs to stay still, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I think that's where this comes into play, because obviously we're going to be putting bearings in all of the arms, so that the bearing alone will keep that turning on its own, and then there'll be separate ones with the gearing system.
Right. Okay.
So that's that. It's just, I'm just a little bit miffed on now about the sun, but I'm sure as we get on with the project, we start building it up, I think things may make sense the more we do it. I mean, the only other bit of confusion that you've touched upon actually is that obviously it's making the sun have the LEDs in it is a little bit more complicated. And I'm just having a look at these images. Oh, I see. So we're not putting an 8mm rod through the center. Because if I show you this image, that doesn't look like 8mm rod to me through the center.
No, that looks like the 4mm rod. We should explain why we don't have an 8mm bearing. So where's the 8mm live then?
I'm not sure. Because also when we come to do the slip ring, he's saying that he's had to modify it. So I mean, he's made some sort of, he's used a piece of brass tubing here and chiseled something out or filed it down, because this is going to need fitting. This is going to need retrofitting, however we seem fit, because he hasn't actually really given us any instruction on how to fit that. So it looks like he's glued some brass tubing on there with something.
See, now that looks like the 8mm tube.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he's attached it with some more brass tubing, I think, to sort of bodge that in. And then he's hot glued that whole system in the bottom somehow. But obviously that's later on in the build. However, the 8mm shaft sits in the central hole. See, it says the 8mm shaft sits into the central hole. An 8mm drill can be used to ream the hole out until the 8mm shaft fits. Then the 624ZZ bearing is placed in the bottom of the base, which is obviously in the bottom in the base.
Yeah.
And then this is the second support bearing for the sun. The legs have tiny hooks that grab into the base. So it's talking about the 8mm rod, and then it just changes the conversation to popping the legs into the base.
But I did a test fit, and we've got some little arms, and they do fit around the 8mm rod. So now I'm beginning to wonder if the 8mm rod goes up through the base, and all the planets rotate round that. But then a 4mm rod goes through the middle with the sun on
Right.
it.
Yeah.
That would
Okay.
work, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think we're actually going to have to do some homework. So let's put the base together.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
we can compare notes.
Okay. So the legs have got tiny hooks to grab into the base. So all around the edge, and we've got 5 holes, and then you've got sort of 5 indents around the bottom. And then all we're going to do is pop that in, so then it sort of sits like that. And then we're going to use our thumb at the bottom to push the legs up, and then that locks them into place, if that makes any sense at all. I don't know if you can describe that any better. But yeah, you want to just pop the, you can see that there, you just pop the leg in, and then from the bottom just push upwards, and then we're going to do that all the way around. So it is quite a nice fit. How about yours, Penny?
Mine is a very good snug fit. What I actually found with mine, I can't remember which one it is, and I can't replicate it now, but it might be this one. Right, there we go. Right, one of the legs doesn't fit into the slot. So what I've then done is, say this one doesn't fit in there. I've tried it in this one, and then that goes in, and that one will fit into that one. So it could just be maybe where my tolerances have altered as it went round. But all the legs, as you can see, they fit in somewhere. But it's just you might have one that you can't get in. Mine are all nice and tight. You see that they're not falling out on their own. But if you want to have a bit of belt and braces, you could just run a tiny bit of glue along there. And I'd probably use thin glue just to make it, or maybe a bit of 3D pen or whatever. This bit isn't going to be seen. It'll finish up like this.
Yeah,
so,
nice design, because where you're going to have most of the weight, not it's going to be too heavy, but most of the weight will be pushing down on it anyway, which is going to keep.
That looks like that's going to hold a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And that'll be your base. So how's yours looking?
Yeah, exactly.
Yours pretty much the same as mine, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you want to go round and do some tidy up, just file the edges off. I print mine with a brim, so that means I have a little bit extra clean up to do, and I just run a file along there just to get that brim off. Horlicks, I believe you don't use a brim, do you?
No.
Yours is probably nice and clean off the bed.
Yes,
I just feel a bit more comfortable using a brim. For the benefit of those that don't know, I will demonstrate. So you've got 3 kind of what they call bed adhesion, and I have 0 pens. Right, so you have a model, and we'll just do a square like that, and then you got one there. So if you're going to do a skirt, what it will do is it will just do a little line around, and then you've got the shape there.
And that's what I use. And the only reason for that is so it can sort of purge the printer before it starts printing.
Yeah. What I do is I actually do a brim. So your first layer will actually look more like that. So you see it looks much bigger. If you look at it from the side view, Horlicks's will look like that. If you look at mine from the side view, mine will look like that. So you can see I've got more surface area, so it's going to stick to the bed better. Sometimes what happens is it might warp, but if mine warps, you've always got a chance that just the brim might warp. So I might actually end up with something that looks like that, where it's trying to peel off the bed, but the actual warp hasn't made it as far as the model. It's just a little bit more comfortable for me. The third one that I don't tend to use, and that's a raft. And what it does is it prints 4 layers. It kind of goes like that. And then it prints another layer going like that. And then it does a third layer. And then it does a fourth layer. And then it prints it on top of that. So you will get fairly much the same as the side view will be pretty much the same as a brim, but you'll get like 4 layers of throwaway material, and that's really, really good if you've got very small parts. But what I tend to do is every time I've printed small parts, I've needed lots of them. So what I will do is I will position lots of them on the bed nice and close together. So then I'll do a brim. So my brim will be like that. And then it'll print all the small bits. But it just means I've got a lot of cleanup.
Yeah.
So that's the only drawback. I waste more filament, and I have more cleanup. But if there are any slight issues, it will still print okay. So that's my base, and I'm not going to glue mine because 2 reasons. One, I don't think it needs it, and B, if I ever want to transport it, then by taking the legs off, it then makes it a little bit thinner. So I don't know if it'll want transporting. So anyway, I need to find a comment. I had an absolutely eye-opening comment last week. I think the comment was left on the last video. It was I was originally looking at this as a project quite expensive. What did we work it out, about 50 quid for the whole lot?
I think so, yeah.
But it's one of those ones that if you like it, you'll enjoy it. So let me show you. It's a comment by, I think it was Trevor Rodway, and because the only drawback is a lot of projects they're not cheaper to 3D print them, but they're more personalized. But this, I'm just waiting for it to come up on YouTube to make sure it does come up. Right, so Trevor Rodway wrote, have just found a tower orrery manufactured by Etsy. It's 18 inches high, 12 inches wide, 12 inches depth. It only costs £1,631.90. Thought you might want to take a look. It's made out of walnut, brass and stone. So obviously it's made of really good quality materials, but we are saving over £1,500 by making this ourselves.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah, that's amazing. No, quite. I mean, I know. I think it was Eagle Most or D'Agostini did one of these a few years ago. I think they've rerun it 2 or 3 times. I think.
Right.
But yeah,
the solar system.
Yeah, the Orrerry, but it's it is a lot of money really, and this was more fun, I think, and it's going to be quite challenging. I mean, we're already trying to speculate where things are going, and we're finding it hard to do that.
Yeah,
but I think it's something that we've made ourselves. Well, we haven't obviously.
Yeah.
We're printing.
If we succeed with this, I'm going to look at that and go, it may not be the best thing ever. It's not going to be made of walnut and stone, but I made that.
Yeah.
And who's got one exactly the same as mine?
Penny. So, and then
right. So
whoever else wants to join in.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got a unique item that you won't find anywhere else. Right. So I've not had a chance to make the little pipe benders. I don't think it's the end of the world because we don't need them quite yet.
No.
We won't need them next week, will we?
No, I don't think so.
So what I thought might be interesting, what if I built them live? I'll open up I can't remember what the program's called now, but the design program, and then I'll actually build them on it. It'll probably take me about half an hour to do the first one, and then the second one will be about the same length. Well, it's the same principle, but just different sizes.
Yeah.
So, so what are we looking at doing for next week? And what I'll do is I'll pull that into Cura now, and then we can go through the printing process.
Right.
I believe. Let me get my little thing right. So next week I've got on the list. Well, I did have the base, but we're doing that in issue 1 instead. I've got the motor and the 8mm rod and the sun. So that means they'll. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so we could. I'm just trying to think the best way of doing this. The only thing I can suggest is if next week we get the motor installed,
right,
with the cog.
Yeah.
Because you haven't got your. Have you got everything to do that? No, you haven't got your soldering iron to hand, have you?
I haven't got it to hand today, no.
So yeah, next week I think we'll fit the motor and try and work out the rod that's going to go through the base, and then we'll attach the bearing so that we've got a stand with the basis of the rest of the model.
Right. Okay. So we've gone through all the parts that have been needed last week. And then what we'll do is we'll go through the parts this week that we're going to need. And then we'll go through them again as we use them. Obviously, if you can't get the parts or we've missed the part out or something, then obviously you can always catch it, because these videos aren't going to go away, are they?
No.
So I reckon, have you got the parts to hand that we'll need?
Oh yeah, and then are we going to wire the sun next week as well with the LEDs?
Can do, because we'll have the soldering iron out to do the motor.
Yeah.
So we might as well do the sun then.
Okay, so next week then you'll need to print the sun.
Right.
Which is what I've got here.
So just bear with me. I'm going to slow you down a bit, and then I'll write down what you want done, bought or made. And then anything we print, I'll pull that into Cura and we'll look at the times. Yeah. So you want the sun, which is 2 pieces.
Yeah, so we want the sun, which is obviously printed in clear PLA. And we're also going to need the 8mm. Oh, yeah, sorry, the motor. You want a couple of wires. I've got black and red here. Because we're going to have to, once we've fitted the motor, we're not going to have access to the solder points. So I think it's best to put 2 lengths of wire on, and then we can then wire that up later on.
Okay.
So
I'm actually going to go a slightly different route than you then. I'm actually going, let me show you. Oh, got to move the camera. So I'm actually using one of these. This is as I mentioned last week, this is a phone charger that I got from Poundland for £1. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this end off, and then I'll solder that onto the motor, and then I'll have my power cable ready.
Yes.
Yeah. Or
No, that won't
it
work.
might be better if I use some connectors so that I can just connect it in.
The thing is, later on we're going to have to work out how to attach the slip ring to the power as well to power the LEDs. So
Right.
it's no good just wiring that straight into the motor, because we're going to need to branch off. So that's why, personally, I'm going to do it like this, so that when I've put the motor in.
Hang on, let me get your view on you. Yeah. Okay, that might actually be a better idea then.
I'm going to have 2 wires sticking out, so then when we come to wiring in the LEDs, then I can solder everything, because I'm not quite sure on the wiring yet.
Right.
That's the way I'm going to do it. But
so I need to do some buying on Amazon. I've actually got the connectors which Jason Fleetwood J very kindly bought me. Let me just find them.
Steve, yeah, I'm a bit better. I'm still bunged up, but I do feel a lot better than I did yesterday. I didn't have any energy yesterday.
Right. So Jason has very kindly bought me these from my Amazon wish list, and these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to about 10 hole connectors. So what I'll probably do, I think they've got male and female. No, you make male and female. So what I'll do is I'll only need 2 wires out of this, won't I?
Yeah.
But there's 4 wires in there.
Yeah.
So I'll figure out which wires are the power wires. I'll cut back 2 of the spare wires. I'll then connect those 2 spare wires to the motor there. The colours won't match. Actually, I could cut back some of this cable, couldn't I? And then I'll cut maybe about that much wire off, and I'll connect that to the motor with this connector on the end, and then I'll connect this with this on the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I'm ready to go, I'll be able to connect them together.
Yeah, I think that'll work.
Yeah. Okay, so this is kind of an optional extra.
Yeah, I'm not as organised as that, so I'll be using just good old solder and some heat tubing.
The word organised and penny doesn't normally go together. Right. So we've got the fan, the motor, we've got wires. And don't buy the let me show you the wire that I own. This is the wire that oh, hang on, I'm on the wrong screen. Right, this is the wire that I own. This is called wrapping wire. They have got an American wire gauge of 24 or 30, or so. I don't quite understand it, but it's very thin wire. It's much thinner than your normal, what you call normal 24, because it only needs to carry about 5 volts, but it needs to be thin to get through the sun. I haven't got any normal electrical wire, but it's much thinner.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we're going to need the motor. We've got the wires. We're going to need the motor. We printed it for this week, but we're going to need the motors, the support, motor support, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And then we're going to need, well, this is where I'm going to need to look at the glossary.
Yeah. Now, we have given these a nickname of 101 prints. We will explain why we call them that later on. Was that what you were thinking of?
I'm looking for the cogs.
Yeah, I can't remember which cogs go on what.
Oh, here we go. We want part 12, piece 12, which is the motor driver gear. And then we want piece 13, which is the motor driven gear. So we want...
Sorry, what numbers are they?
Right, so the item number is 12 and 13.
12 and 13.
Which are down on the left-hand side. And they've got file names of...
I'll go through that with you when I pull them into Kira.
Right, okay, yeah. PO5 and PO6.
Yeah.
So I need cogs 12 and 13.
So the labels fell off mine. That's definitely cog 12. And that's identifiable because it's not a complete circle in the middle.
Okay, I think I've got them here, but they're in yellow. But I don't know if I reprinted or not. Sorry, I'm just shuffling in my box of...
No, that's fine. I think we've kind of caught each other on the hop, really, haven't we? And while you're looking, Gordy's asked, did you have a good holiday?
Yes, I did. It was really good, thank you. Yeah, it was really, really good. I got on some good rides and I got a bit burnt. One day in the sun and I looked like a lobster. But it was so busy.
Is there any other way to look, though, when you've been to Spain?
Yeah. But no, the thing is, like, sod's law, it was like, I thought we missed the school holidays because it was like low season at the park, but we were wrong. The day we actually went to the park was the first day of the Spanish school holidays.
Right.
Of course, all the rides, there was an excess of 2-hour queues.
Oh.
But luckily, Carl had some extra money, so we managed to buy like unlimited fast tracks all day, so we could just walk on the rides.
Okay, very nice.
So yeah, if it wasn't for that, it would have been a very miserable time, and I would have been more burnt than I am now.
Yeah. I remember when I was in the queue for the London Eye. That was a good 2-3 hours, and that was awful. It was the hottest day of the year up to that day. You know, I think we had hot days following, but it was in terms of the weather, it was a really coincidentally well planned trip. Obviously, you can't plan the weather months in advance, but
no.
Right, so they're your 12 and your 13 that you're going to print. Have you got your 101 prints? I've got mine if you don't.
Yeah, you better use yours because I need to...
So what we have got, which will be the last print to get ready for next week, they're all basically... Okay, well, I've got some, but now we've got these arms. Now, to see, some of them have got labels on and some of the labels have fallen off, but they've all got a series of dots on them. And the reason for that is it tells you where they're going. So this goes on one end because it's got one dot on it. And this goes on the opposite end because it's got lots of dots on it. Now, the reason we call these 101 is for some reason or another, they don't fit. So they actually need to be enlarged by 101%. Now you get why we call them the 101 prints.
Yeah.
They're the only ones that need to be changed in size. And doing a rough fit, they seem to fit really well. Mostly, mainly. There we go. But these aren't going to rotate around the rod. They're going to go, I don't know, I think they might need to, I don't know, I can't remember how they go. But these can be drilled or filed out to be made bigger if need be. But the reason they need to be made bigger isn't because of the size of the holes and things. It's the clearances. If you didn't enlarge them, they would catch each other as they went round. Because they're 101%, so I'm trying to do this so you can see it. They will have the clearance that you need. Is that the reason, Horlicks?
I think so. Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think it was to do with the cogs, wasn't it? Because once we've attached the various cogs, then it's something like, I mean, I don't know. For example, that cog would go on there, but then we'll have another cog say go on there, and it's something to do with the teeth lining up or something.
Yeah. So we haven't lined the cogs up, so obviously that involves putting bearings in. But shall we have a go at popping these into Kira?
Yeah.
So for that, I'm going to need you to call out reference number, file names. So if you just bear with me, I'll get Kira lined up.
So do you want to start with the the 101 prints or the 2 cogs?
It's up to you.
Or are you going to do the whole lot on one print?
I can't remember the name of the file now. I didn't get this ready. There we are. So you call them out. I'm happy to put them in whatever order you want.
So we need 12.
So if you, right, 12
which
and
is
13.
Yeah, we're going to have to do them separate because obviously we've got to change to 101, and these 2 cogs.
No, well, in Cura you can resize those separately.
Oh, okay.
But, obviously, I haven't got a printer that can print in 2 different colors, so I've got to do as many prints as many colors that I'm using. So if you're going to do everything in the same color, you can chuck all of this on the same print bed.
Yeah. Okay, so we want 12, which is Y10 P0600.
P0600. So this is going to be piece 12. Is that going to open? There we go. Right. So that is your cog number 12.
And that's the motor driver gear. And then we want 13, which is Y10
Y10
P0700.
No, that's not it. Can you call that out again?
Y10
P10. Yeah.
P0700.
There we are. So they, to me, look identical, apart from the fact that one's got a round hole and one's got a flat side on the hole.
Yeah.
So this one there is piece number 12, and this one is piece number 13.
And it's really good. It's things like that that make this model really good, isn't it? Because we know now that will only fit on one way. And that shape is obviously going to be the one to attach to the motor. Because if you remember last week when Penny was showing off the motor, we've got that same shape on the end of the motor. So...
do you know what, guys? I'm so sorry you missed all of that. It turns out I had the view on you all the time. Right, so let me move that aside. So This piece here that I've now put in the middle, that's piece number 12. I'll load up other pieces later on so you can see what we're doing. But that's piece number 12, and you see that it's got the hole there. It's got a flat side. And then piece number 13 is this one, which to me looks absolutely the same, but the hole is round. Okay. So those two pieces on their own, and I've got that set for 0.15 layer height, which is very, very fine, and that's going to take 20 minutes. If you let's do it on a 0.2 layer height. Oh. Obviously, if you're not happy with the quality these come out, reprint them on a higher quality. But this is 16 minutes at 0.2 layer height. I think I've got 3 top layers, a wall thickness. Let's put a wall. I like a wall thickness of 0.2, 0.3. So let's increase the wall thickness. That'll obviously increase the times. 19 minutes. You're looking at these 2 cogs in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you want to put in next?
So next would be the for next week. That'll be it.
No, because we still need the 101 prints, and we need the sun.
Oh, the sun. So the sun. Well, let's do the 101 prints then. So we want 8. Okay. Which is Y10P0200.
Yeah.
Which is the sun bearing holder.
Right. And that's the one with the 1 dot. Okay, so now in Cura, to resize that, all you do is you select on the piece, and then you've got here scale, and then all we do is we just change it to 101, and there we go, and that's it. And then so you notice that it just made it slightly bigger, but not a lot bigger. And on the same settings as the cogs, that one is going to take 22 minutes. You shouldn't need supports on that. But what I'll do is I'll put that back. Do you want to give me all the file names for all of those?
Yeah.
I'm going to guess it's going to be. So that one was Y10P02, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was. Yeah, that's Y10P02. Then we want Y20P07.
P07, yeah.
And then we want Y20P12.
Yeah.
Then we want Y20P15.
P15, yeah.
We want Y20P19.
Yeah.
And we also want 34, which is Y20P23.
Okay, is that it then? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in total.
That's it for the 101 prints.
Right. Okay. So we've got what looks like a kind of a square across, and then 5 little whatever you want to call them. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all models, scale, rescale to 101%, and I'll arrange those models again. And I'll slice those in the same settings as we did with the cog. And that's going to take 2 hours, 7 minutes. It's a big print, but we've done that in quite good quality. Again, look at the settings you like to use. Let's bring that down to really, really fine. So if you want to do that in a 0.05 millimeter layer height, obviously if you change your nozzle size, that would make a difference as well. But obviously this is really, really, really good quality. You'll do like 5 or 6 layers and you'll hardly notice any difference. It's that close, and that would take 8 hours in really, really fine quality. And if you think if you think it's worth it, do it. Right, so I'll clear that bed and then we'll pop the sun in.
Yeah. So we want Y40 PO1A and PO1B.
PO1B, yeah. Okay, so this is the sun, and that will, believe it or not, that will print really nicely in that that setting, and print that in a clear, something clear, so that obviously it goes see-through. And that's just under 2 hours. Most of these planets, I think that's the biggest one, isn't it? So you know that each planet is going to print in less than 2 hours.
Yeah.
Let's just take a quick preview, and it'll show you what the layers will look like. It does actually print really nice. You can see there. But can you see on the right hand, on the left hand side, you've got 5 holes there for me. Just bring that round so you can see it a bit better. Obviously, this is printed with a skirt. I normally print with a brim, but so you can see those holes forming. So you may have a bit of an issue when those join. You might get a little bit of sagging, but that's nothing a file can't sort out. And there you go. And they come in really, really nicely. And as those come in on the curve on the top, you might get a little bit of stepping. I don't know if you can see it there. You see that's not a perfect curve. It's quite jumpy. If you change that, if you're not happy with it, and I think you'll be all right with it, but if you really want to go for the absolute best quality, obviously it's going to take a lot longer to print. I think it's probably going to take about 8 hours, do you reckon, Horlicks?
Probably 8-9 hours.
Do you know what? We've got some people moved into the house, and all they're doing is slamming doors and shouting. And I've got my bedroom door open today because it's just so hot. I'm trying to get some kind of blow through. And yeah, this is not amusing. Right, 7 hours 43 minutes. But if you look at the quality of the line now, you can see how much more smooth it is.
Yeah.
So that's what you get for your print quality. If you go to the other extreme, I do a lot of my R2D2 printing on a 0.3 layer height, but that's because I've got a lot of prep work afterwards. Why is that not wanting to slice? For this, because it's clear PLA, I would recommend going finer rather than, there we go. So you can see how much blockier that is on 0.3. If you're going to file that, that's absolutely fine, but I don't know if filing clear PLA is a good idea.
I think when I did mine, I did it on a 0.1.
Right. So 0.1 is probably in a little bit finer than the medium. But you know, if you go better quality, you do sacrifice speed, and vice versa. Why is that not slicing very well? So it's about, we're talking about 4 hours there now, but yeah, I would call that quite acceptable. I don't think you'd need to go any more than 0.1 layer height. Doesn't look like it's going to need it, does it?
No. Yeah, and if you, yeah, mine's I can't. Well, the camera won't even pick it up. But
yeah. So let's have a look at yours. Yeah, that looks beautiful. Mine feels nice. I think I've done mine in a 0.2 layer height, and it feels nice. But you probably won't notice it too much when the lights are on anyway.
No.
So yeah, right. Yeah, it's funny. We're having a couple of people saying that they didn't know the show was on. I probably should have set it up this morning. I did a long straight through, very long straight through shift, but I cannot complain. My boss has obviously been looking after me today because I got in for 7. Well, I got in for 6:30 because I always get in half an hour early, and the manager on at the time, he says, "Oh, can you run up a minibus up to somewhere and pick up one of the drivers?" And I just basically went, "Yeah, sod off, I'm not starting yet." And he goes, "No, I got you down for 6:30 spare." I'm like, "Oh, all right then." So I went and got this guy. And then about 7 o'clock, I said, "Oh, can I have my running card? Because I'm due out at 7." He went, "No, you're due out at 7:15." So I'm like, "Okay." So I've had the first 3/4 of the hour, 3/4 of an hour of the day paid, but not actually set to do any work. And then I looked at the duty because I'm being paid through my break. I had a 45-minute break and an hour and 49-minute break. So yeah, not unhappy with that. But I do feel a bit. When you do have a really long break and then you go out and do a really long piece of work, it just kind of knocks the wind out of you.
Mm.
So Matthew Baum, hello. Yeah, no, you are, and you aren't too late. You're too late when you turn up and the show has already ended. Right, so
that's it, really. And then obviously
yeah,
we need LEDs for next week as well. 5 LEDs.
Discovered that we haven't thought of.
And a 100 ohm resistor.
All right, okay. I can actually show you my 100 ohm resistor. Bum, bum, bum. It's about 100.
Nice. All on tap.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I got more in the bag. So yeah. So have you got yours to hand then?
Yeah.
I just want to see how organised you were compared to me.
It's in the bag it's in a bag with all the bearings in. So there's my LEDs, and there is a resistor in there somewhere. You can just about see it there.
Yeah. So you're all ready to go for next week. Are we going to need one resistor for all 5 bulbs?
I think so, yeah.
Right.
Which we can put on the. In fact, we might not need the resistor actually, because I think we can get away with attaching that at the bottom in the base, because I think we're going to be limited space in the sun because the LED.
Yeah, there's going to be plenty of space in the base.
Yeah, so I think we'll put the resistor in the base, and then we can cover it with some heat shrink tubing or something.
So we're going to need an awful lot of heat shrink next week.
Not too much, just a little strip. I'm not going to be putting any heat tubing around the LEDs or anything, because they're going to, once they're in here, this is going to be then sealed up and undisturbed.
Yeah. Just going to make sure your pluses and minuses don't cross. Don't cross the streams.
No. So it might be a good idea to get some sort of power supply ready as well, so we can test things before we glue them together.
What you mean, like, for example, a variable power supply?
If you've got one, or in my case, here's one I've got earlier, a 9-volt battery.
Yeah, that's always good. Yeah, so that's it with the Orrerry, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we were discussing, pen reminder, an email came through 15 minutes after the start. Let me check the emails then. Did that go to the route master address then? Sorry, guys.
I think that means he must have got the notification, perhaps.
Oh, notification came through 15 months. Ah, right, okay. Yeah, if I'd have organised the show like this morning when I should have done, it would have been all right. Right, so your choice, guys. Obviously, I've got this 3D printer, which I've just really not had the time to assemble. And I was wanting to do a live build, but it's finding the live build slot to do it. And if I'm not putting it up, I'm not using it. So Horlicks invited me to attempt. I don't know if I'll be able to. I don't know if I've got the space, but would you like to
we will
build?
manage?
Well, yeah, we will. Yeah, we always manage, don't we?
Yeah,
So
I vote we do that because I'm quite excited to see. I love watching stuff like that, and it is fitting because this is a 3D print project, and we need a 3D printer. So at least if people here might be interested to do this and they haven't got a 3D printer and they're thinking of buying one, it gives them a good insight in how easy they are to go together.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a bit of a rough speech to do in my head, but I always feel guilty because Chris Camplin got a 3D printer from the Agostini, inspired by me, probably, yes. But it's like, what is it, about 800 quid?
No, it wasn't that much. I think it was a offer, and it was like 300, 400, 500 quid. But
that's not so bad. It cost him more money than it cost me to do my print. That's why I stopped doing it. I bought the one issue, and it looked great. It did look fantastic. But I thought, why should I spend like 600, 700, 800 whatever quid on a printer that won't be? I mean, it's still only be half built now, or just over half built, and I could have got a printer 350 quid. But the printer that I'm going to do today is the Creality Ender 3. I believe they used to have the Ender and the Ender 2. But they've just been superseded by what a lot of people seem to be calling a great printer. So excuse the mess. I'm just going to need as much desk space as I can get away with. So,
but yeah, I did like, bless him. I did sort of afterwards thought I did what I did to you, Penny, and I think he was doing a live stream or something, and I was putting in capital start, like, and then because I realised that you could buy one less than that, better quality, but it was too late by that time. But bless him, I don't think he's actually printed anything out of it because I think there's something wrong with it. Something to do with the x-axis or something. I mean, I'm not 100% what he means, but it seems to be functioning okay because he was showing me the fault, but it seemed okay to me. But it's like the part work printer I had. I mean, that was the first one I ever had, and at the time it was like, wow. But they've come down. The price has come down so much now. I mean, the one that you're just about to assemble is on my wish list because I'd like one of them as well.
Yeah, it's £175 from Amazon.
Yeah,
I got this from 154 from Banggood, and I don't think there'll be any difference in either of the qualities. So I'm going to struggle to get all of the box on, but according to the print on the box, this box measures 153 by 38 by 20 centimeters, and if I place my hands on the box, that will give you an idea of how big it is. Now, my CR10, now this is dubbed as a perfect beginner's printer. However, the assembly looks more complicated than the CR10. The CR10 basically you get the print bed and then you get the support in the middle. That'll make sense later on. This, you've got to assemble more pieces. However, they kind of could regard it. I wouldn't class it as a kit. I would kind of make a new. Oh my god, there's all sorts of cuts in there. Now I'm worried. I would call this more of a quick assembly rather than a kit, but some people would argue it is a kit.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they are really good printers by what I've seen, and I mean, I have got an expensive printer, but I don't like using it all the time for
no.
silly little prints, should I say? Because I feel like I'm burning out a very expensive printer for something silly.
I mean, this isn't an Ultimaker, but it's cheap. I mean, my Creality, I got a feeling I've killed it just from using it too much. But the amount of print I've done on it, I don't think I've lost. Right, okay, these are just some specs that they've given us. I don't know if you can read them. I can't read them in the monitor because it's back to front. Right, so I might have to go a little bit slow on this. So what we've got, and I can't show you the box, but we've got lots and lots of foam. And the first thing we've got is the instructions at the top to sort of try and encourage you to read them and open them. So, right, so the instructions actually look pretty good, and that's all the parts that you get. And you've got two lists. So you can see there that you've got bars and things, whereas on the CR10, this all comes assembled. You get tools with it. There's a couple of, I've watched various videos on how to make this. Now it's going to be easier if I put this to one side and follow it, so you won't be able to see the instructions, but I'll try and get everything done on camera. So, and I'll introduce the bits as I build it. I think that'll be the easier way. So the first piece we've got is not coming out of the box. Right. So this is good. We have got the print bed. So you can see this is already assembled. It actually even comes with bulldog clips, look.
Oh, brilliant.
One of the things I like about this...
Is that the version with the rubber mat, Penny?
This is a build tack.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't need to be putting glue sticks and things on this. This is like a special mat that it sticks to, and then you pull it off when the print's done, and then all you do is you flex it, and that will encourage the print to come off. And the bulldog clips are just there just to hold that on. What I do with obviously this is coming on and off all the time, so I want to try and keep these handles on. I don't really know where to position these yet, but I'll figure it out as I go. So that's going to slide on top of there backwards and forwards. We've got the legs. We've got a USB input, and we've got an SD card reader. And we've got the hot end is ready to go. The Bowden tube's not sticking into anything yet. And we've got the various connections. Now, one thing I was impressed with or very helpful with the CR10, these are all very well labeled. I'll try and get this into view. Do you remember these little yellow bits? So that's got an X on it, so that's going to plug into the X axis. That one will plug into the extruder, and this one should, yeah, that's another X. And then we've got another one down here that says Z. And then we've got a color-coded cable there, and so on and so forth. We've got some, I think they call these extrusions, but these are going to be either the sides or the top bar. I'll get those out as I need them. I've run into a problem. Possibly. Right, okay. If this is what I think it is, I'm not 100% happy. Looks like I've got plug adapters, which I'm not best happy with. That's probably the disadvantage because these are crap, aren't they?
Yeah, but the thing is, if the printer's got, it's probably going to have like a kettle lead or something, so you can easily swap that over.
I can't find a power lead. Just check I haven't got it. It isn't already in. Right, okay. I haven't finished taking everything out of the box, so right. So there's another piece there. That's a couple of steps. That looks like the X and Y axis. A couple of stoppers on there. And that's where the extruder is going to go. Now, this is one issue that a lot of the Crealities have. This is plastic, so it's not so good. So a lot of people will upgrade this, but that's good enough to get going with.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. This is the front panel with the circuits on the back. I'm not going to take this out of the bag yet. And then we have a power supply, which there should be a lead somewhere.
Yeah, so kettle lead, so you could just swap that for a normal one.
Right.
Without using the adapter.
I'm just going to pop that on there.
And I've actually got a question for you.
Yeah.
Are you going to pie that one up? Octopi that one?
Right, I've already asked the question. To pie it up, I'm going to need a new pie. Right, so that's my power supply. And it's no earth. So, yeah, I'm not sure how to go with this because that's going to go in like that, isn't it?
Have you got another kettle lead?
Not that size. Could I cut that off and put a 3-pin plug on?
Yeah.
I mean, I've used things like that. I don't know what sort of power's coming through there though. So, okay, so maybe I should have spent an extra 25 quid and got it through Amazon and got a UK plug. We've got another spatula here. I love the spatulas. They're basic, but they do the job. This, I believe, is the spool holder that goes on top of the machine. We've got there was actually a second layer on here. We've got some more bars. We've got. I just bought one of these actually as a spare part for my other printer. A piece for the spool holder. And various bags of bits, which I think they're just screws and things, some cable ties, more tools, some Allen keys, which is good because I've lost some of my Allen keys. And the only bit that's scary is you've got the cabling there, which you're going to need like to tension the bed and stuff like that. Slightly disappointed with the sample filament that you get. There's not an awful lot there, but you got a small roll with the Creality, and when I got the Creality, that was all I had. Now I've got loads of filaments. It doesn't matter. That's all I get. And if those blue bits are what I think they are, that's actually an upgrade. And then there's your SD card and your SD card holder and some little switches. So should I get on and build it?
Yeah.
I'm really sorry that I'm a little bit short on space, so I'm going to have to introduce bits as I require them. So we're going to need these, and these are all different. So.
Steve Graham said that the Bulldog clips, there's 2 at the front and 2 at the back.
2 at the front, 2 at the back. Okay, fair enough. Right, so I'll just remove this plastic. I do know that that won't cut. These are all different because they've got screw holes drilled into them to fit various bits in various places. So you won't be able to put the wrong way. I think you'll be able to fit them in the wrong place, but if you do put them in the wrong place, they won't work. Like you see that you've got a hole there and a hole there, but on this one you've got 2 holes there. So they're all differently spaced. And these are actually smaller. So whereas we'll have a picture of a bar, I won't necessarily know straight away if it's the right one. It's going to be like, you know, sometimes with the Route Master we get bits that we can't tell apart until we actually put it together.
Yeah.
Right, so stage 1, it's all pictures, no words. We need 2, looks like 2 bigger bars. And we need 2 holes at the bottom there and 2 holes on the inside there. So they're going to go, can you see this? I'm sorry about the angle. Right, so, oh, there is actually, when it does each step, you see, that's the instruction for the steps, but it tells you what you're going to need. So we need 4 M5 by 45 mil bolts, which are in this bag here, and they've got some little labels on, so let's see how good the labels are.
It's really good, isn't it, how they label everything. I know the early printers didn't come with any labels, and it was just a test.
Right, so they're M5 by 25, so they may not be the right ones. Oh, I know what that is now. More side cutters. So that theoretically is wrong. So 25. So obviously, they're going to be longer because it's got to hold more in, isn't it? Right. Oh, I've even got a cleaner in there as well. Screwdriver. For M5 by 45. So I need 4 of those, and it's asking me for washers as well. Do the washers come with? Yep, the washers are in the bag. So that's really good. So already it's much easier than my Creality CR10, which this should be easier to build because I've already built one before. I think doing that first one is always going to be the hardest, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's just me making an excuse for the amount of swearing I've done. And also I didn't understand. I understood what the letters meant on the wires. Okay, I just dropped a washer. That was not good. Right. Bear with me a sec, guys. I found it. It's okay. Right, so I've just taken 2 out to start with. So this is going to go on this side. In fact, I'll do this side first because I'll work away and then work in. So we need the 2 short holes down near the bottom. And let's put these washers somewhere safe. Right. Turn this on its side. And we thread. I'm sorry if I get some of this off camera. I don't mean to. Right, 1 in there and 1 in there. And then we'll just get this bar. So 2 holes at the bottom. We can see the screw holes in the bottom. And I'm just going to screw those in with my finger just to get them started. And I'm just wiggling this a bit as well. That just seems to make it useful. And just go as far as I can with my fingers. I'm hoping that they will drop down inside the extrusion. So I just need, I'm going to cheat and I'm going to use my Orrerry. It's just that it'll be easier for me. Obviously, there is the tool to do this. Oh, I just dropped the head now. I'm not doing so well today, am I? I am ever so sorry, guys. I've just dropped the screwdriver head on the floor, but I've just found it. Oh. You can tell how well planned this was, can't you? Oh, and that was actually the right size. So that can go in there like so. So we'll just do this up. No, it wasn't the right size. That's going to be the right size. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, right. So we'll just finish this off. It is quite a stiff fit. I suppose you could put thread lock in this if you wanted to, couldn't you? But then it'd be hard to undo. Oh, I like that. I don't know if you can see there. See that nut sitting up? But this one that's in more, that's actually gone down. So this screw won't be making contact with the ground. You want to make sure the screws are lower than these feet. They've got little rubber feet on. And this second one is going in a lot easier because obviously it's all lined it up. Okay, and that's not moving, so I'm happy with that. So just be careful and also notice it comes with these larger adjusting knobs as opposed to those little fiddly little things that the Creality came with.
Yeah, because you actually printed something like that, didn't you, as an upgrade?
Yes, yeah, very, very good upgrade. Right. So 2 more bolts I need. And obviously it's going to get slightly awkward now because I've already put one side in. Right, 2 washers and 2 bolts. And this one is going to be going in that way round. So you've got the 2 holes on the inside. So I might benefit from just turning this over. There we go. Right. Just watch where these wires are going. Right, so washer on the bolt. They reckon that this takes about half an hour or less to install. It might take me longer because obviously I'm showing everyone on the camera. Right, so they're in. So obviously I've turned this in upside down now. So you've got these 2 holes are going to go on the inside. So that should be this way round. Check you've got some threads. And we'll just start those off with our fingers. Wiggling it as I tell. Just seems to be making it easier if I wiggle it. In fact, I might even do this just a little bit on one side and a little bit on the other and sort of do it over about 10 passes. Saying that, that's now gone in fully. So you can see what I'm doing, can you? Yeah, this is much easier with a screwdriver rather than the little Allen key they give you. The Allen keys do the job, and they do the job very well, but this does the job better. Right, just going to move my microphone out of the way. So, for now, I'm going to turn it so that the front is at the front, and that is stage 1 complete. You can't see this because of the angles, but you've got 2 little holes there there. That's on the left-hand side, and then you've got these two holes there. They're on the inside of the machine. So step 2 is going to be, looks like you're going to install the power supply and the LCD display. So that's nice and easy. The first thing you need to do is select the power supply, the power setting on here. You got a choice of 115 or 230. So I'm going to select 230 because that's what the UK has. And this, right. Okay, right. Sorry, right. So I can't figure out which screw. Ah, there we go. Right, it's got 2 screws there, but it doesn't tell you which ones to use. And then you've got 2 at the front. It says to use 2 5x8s. It doesn't tell you what these ones are. So they look longer, but screwing a longer screw into a power supply don't sound good, does it? Oh, hang on, M40 by 20. There we go. It's not got a picture. It just says M40 by 20. So that's fine. I'm happy with that. Right. So M4 by 20s. Looks like you get spares. So that's the 20s, and we want M4 by 8. Sorry, M5 by 8. Sorry, my reading glasses aren't right. M4 by 20. Oh, so they're actually going to be different sizes, aren't they? So let's get the tools out. Set of tools. Happy with the tools. M4 by 16. So I'm going to take them all out, and then as I check them, I'll put them back in the bag. So M4 by 18. It's the 8s that I need. M5 by 8. Yeah. Okay. So I want 2 of those and 2 of those. So
M5. I thought you said M4.
Right. Let me double check. So we need M5 by 8.
Right.
Which
Okay.
are these. And we need M4 by 20, which are these.
Brilliant.
So they're going to be for the power supply. And forearmed is forewarned, or forewarned is forearmed. Let's just check these with the screwdriver first. That's too big now. So I need a smaller one of those. If I've got one, which I don't think I have. Right. Bear with me, I've just got them over by the other pin now. There we go. There's our winner. Right. So we've got the power supply. We're looking for 2 holes spaced apart, which are these 2. And I'm going to put the power supply on the outside, and then there's going to be this plug at the bottom. So sorry, I really can't get a good camera angle. Well, that's a bit better, isn't it? So if I push that screw through, I can then locate that hole. That's in just slightly. And then I will locate the second hole. There we go. Found them, no problems. So screw, 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 screw. That didn't say anything about washers. I'm just having to lift the power supply up slightly. Well, I think that's on there solid. I'm happy with that. Right, so the next step is going to be difficult to see, but it's going to be the front panel. So that's the front display panel. That's good. I'm going to change that for something a little bit better. We've got 2 screw holes there, and they are going to go. This isn't the right extrusion, but what you've got a screw hole there, and there. We're going to screw them into the holes that way, in opposite corners. So again, you can't see it too well, but there is actually a modification you can print, which is a back cover for this, because obviously you can just use it like that, but some people like to use the button like that with the fingers across, and you can see the issues there, can't you? And there'll be a cover, and I think you unscrew 2 of the screws, and then you put the cover on and then screw it on. It's quite a nice little mod. So I'll just pop the 1 screw in. Like that is the right screwdriver. The hard bit really, I think, is locating the screws.
Yeah, definitely.
Once you've got the screws started, it's all right.
Yeah, and it's a nice looking printer actually. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's smaller than what I'm used to. These are quite awkward to screw in. I don't know if I've not got them dead straight. Oh, that one's gone in perfect now. It was kind of wiggling about. So yeah, so there's your little control panel sitting there now. But obviously you've got to be aware that you've got exposed circuits at the back. So again, I might do that cover. Right, step 3. This is where it's getting, I think, is getting a little bit tricky. I see what you mean now about 2 at the front, 2 at the back. That's gonna, otherwise it's gonna knock, isn't it? On my other printer, this one needs to be off center a little bit, because otherwise when the print head will knock it. Right, so step 3 is looks like it's going to be not that piece. Oh, wow. I think it is that piece.
Matthew Barham says, as they say in open all hours, you have to jiggle it a bit.
Yeah. Right. Something with 2 wheels on it. The only thing I've got with 2 wheels on it, it's not, maybe it is that bit.
Oh, Steve Graham also says, don't forget to measure between the pillars to make sure they're even.
Oh, yes. So whatever distance that is there, it should be the same there. But wouldn't we do that once we've attached the top?
I think so, yeah, because obviously the top will give it more stability, won't it?
Yeah. I'm kind of stuck now, guys. I can't figure out what this bit is. Switch. Right. Yeah, okay, that wasn't very well labeled. It just said piece number 9. Yeah. Right. Okay. So piece number 9, I think is going to be this one. A Z-axis limit switch. Right. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense now. Right. So this has got those funny, I think they call them T-nuts, and that's going to go somewhere. I think it goes in that way. Yeah, that's going to slide in that way. Now, it's saying what is... that's right. it needs to be 32 mil from the bottom. So don't know if anyone knows how these T-nuts work, but you kind of loosen them off a bit. See how they go in straight? And then when you got it ready, you loosen them and they'll kind of go sideways, and then you tighten them and then they just get tighter and tighter. And then as you tighten them, they pull back. So, right, so. You can't see what I'm doing now, can you? Right, so that's going to slide all the way down there. If you can see it there. And then, oops, and that just fell off. Because they're a little bit too loose. I'll just tighten them up a bit. But what I'll do is I will fix them at the top, tighten them, and then I'll loosen them off just a touch. I think I remember I had trouble with these before, this kind of nut. Right. So finger tight, finger tight. Right. So loosen them off slightly so that we can slide them down. Right. So we want 32 mil from the floor to the base of the switch, and I should have got my calipers ready beforehand. Oh, it's under this pile somewhere. Okay. Yeah, okay, I might just have to go with it for now and adjust later on. But basically what I'm doing, I'll adjust it later on because I haven't got anything to measure it with. Right, so I've put the limiter switch in. I've got to be careful now because obviously I've got pokey out bits. But I've put the limiter switch in there. What I need to do is place it on the ground, measure the distance from there to there, and that needs to be 32 mil. If this is too high, when the extruder comes down, it hits that limit switch, and that tells it it's on its level with this bit. So if that's too high, if it hits it about there, you're going to be printing like midair. If that limiter switch is too low, it's going to force that straight through the bed, and it's just going to scrape all of that. So that's why it needs to be fairly precise. But it's easy done. As long as you got the measurement right, it'll be all right. And then obviously final leveling, you'll be doing with these bed springs, which one is very, very loose. And I've just pulled it off because I've spun it the wrong way around, which is a kind of crazy thing that Penny does. So I know I'm aware of common faults on this. There we go. I think that's just worked its way loose in transit. Right. So step 4 is to put on the first Z-axis motor, which is going to go on the back. So I'm going to need to turn that round. You see why we're leaving the wires till last now, can't we? Right. It's kind of cute, this printer, isn't it? It's small. When the first printer's been a big one, this one is like small, but it's cute. Right, so one step of mower. And we also need an M4 by 18p. Don't know if the P makes a difference. M4 by 18p. And they've given us 2 of them. So, and we also need a rod, and I have seen a rod somewhere. There we are. It's a nice little rubber sleeve. Yeah. And this is going to be the Z axis. That's going to go into there. And then that's going to turn, the stepper motor is going to turn, and that's going to rotate this. And there'll be something on there. And it'll kind of go around, which will pull it up and down. So, right. So, that's going to go somewhere there. That's going to go that way because that bit's going to connect into there, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. And I think we need 2 of those nuts. Right. Okay. That's where the small, remember there's 2 small holes near the bottom. That's where those 2 holes come in. So we're using a very small Allen key head there. One which I don't actually have. That's the lost one, that is. So I'm going to have to fish through looking for an Allen key. I've lost one of my heads on my Orrerry. It kind of dropped underneath, and it's underneath the printer somewhere. But I know that one of these will fit. Not that one. And again, I've lost these from the Creality. It's too small. So now I have a full set again. There we go. That's the one. And these are the same size on both sides. But I quite like this one. But this is very good for fast. And then this is kind of final tightening up. And that makes sense. Right. So I'll push that in there. It's slightly awkward to put in. So we're going to put these into the holes in the frame. So there's only one place we can put this. Can you see? Yeah, you can sort of. And again, it's the finding the hole again, isn't it? Once you've located that first hole, the rest is easy. And these are actually quite easy to put in. You can get that in there through one side. Okay, and that's in as much tight as I can on that side. So I'll finish that one, and I'll just finish it off with the other end of the Allen key. And I'm just going to go, not going to go super tight. But I am going to go fairly tight. I'm not trying to snap the screw in the actual hole. Right, that's the stepper motor in then. So next is to insert the rod. Now, I can't remember at what point. I think at this point we don't tighten that rod. It doesn't say to tighten it. Let me just have a quick look at 5. Step 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right, I'm not going to tighten that up until I know for definite that I can. So step 5, the instructions are a little bit all over the place. They go 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh no, they do go all right. They're in good order. Right, so next we need the hot end. I'll double check that is the hot end. Get myself ever so slightly lost here. Right. I don't think that's the hot end. I think it wants this bit next. which is going to go that way. I'm pretty sure it's going to go that way. You've gone very quiet, Horlicks.
I'm here. I mean, I can't see the manual, so I can't really help anyway. But
right, so we need 2 pieces of the small extrusion. I'm trying to figure out how that's going to go. We need that's this bit. Right. So
right,
okay.
the springs are soft. The springs are too soft. You'll be leveling the printer regularly. And he also says the barcode to the front.
Barcode to the front. Okay, which is that way. Yeah, because then you're going to put the filament in from there. Right. So we're looking to put in some.
Doesn't that go over the bar that is already attached to the printer?
Could do. Yes. Yes, because that's where the. Oh, yes. Lovely. Right. I can see it now. Look, this is where the bar's going to go through, and that's where this is going to go through. That's why you don't tighten it up. So that needs to go through there. Yeah. So if I lift that up, thread that into there, is that going to go? Yeah, right. That can thread into there. Then we can slide that onto there, thread that in there, and yeah. Yeah.
Lovely.
Nice smooth action. We're also looking for feeder nozzle, and that's the bits coming out of the Bowden feeder bit. Whatever. I'm not good with the technical names. I think this is the moment where I'm now thinking about swearing. I think give me 10 minutes, I might be swearing. Yes, that is exactly what I think it is. Right, let's put this bit on and then I'll explain those blue bits, which I'm very happy about. Oh, which is which? Are they both the same? Yeah, they are. Right, so that's going on there. Right, so what's going to happen, we're going to have some Bowden tube on there. The Bowden tube will go into there. Where are we? Now, as this comes out, it locks it in place. The way you remove the Bowden tube is to push that in, and then you can pull it out. What happens with these parts is that this kind of rattles, and then if that pushes down, and then you've got filament coming through, the pressure causes the Bowden tube to pop out. There is a 3D printable solution. They've actually popped it in the bag, and this is it. And what they do is you pop this on over there, like that, and you can see it stops that from going in. So it locks the Bowden tube in place. And that's how simple it is. But there's a hole in there. It's not going in as easy as I thought. Or maybe that's not what that is.
Yeah, I've got them on my printer. Okay. They go on quite
hard. Maybe I need that bigger one. These have actually got holes in them. They're not solid, if you can see. You want to get that curve. But anyway, I'll sort that out later on. So yeah, so obviously Creality have looked at the problems, you know, when on the pre-releases, and it's just, yeah, that simple little, because you can get files for that and you can just 3D print it off. Right, so we're starting to get somewhere now. So step 6. Right, this is the bit I wasn't looking forward to. We need the belt. Oh, hang on. I'm confused now. Right. Somewhere in there, we need to put a belt. But I can't figure out it's going across there. It's going into... Did you say the barcode at the back or the front?
Front.
Ah, I can see. Yeah, right. So, yeah, this is a fiddly bit that I from what I can make out. Right. So this is the belt that drives this across. It's gonna, yeah, the hot end is going to be driven across. Oh God, that's right. So the hot end is obviously going to go backwards and forwards, and obviously you need a belt. And you've got this belt which has got teeth on it, and this is the reason it's fiddly. See, you've got these teeth on it, and there's inside there. I'll see if I can get in there. Right, I don't know if you can just see a cog there. I think, yeah, roughly where my finger is. Can you see there's a cog there?
No.
No. All right, see if I can do better then. Right, where are we? Now it's hard to see, but just in there,
Right.
there's a little cogged wheel. So what's going to happen is this is going to thread in there over the top, thread it right through like that, and then you're going to thread it under like so. So as the stepper motor turns that end, it's going to move this belt backwards and forwards. Yeah.
Right.
This is kind of like the fan belt principle thing, isn't it, in your car? So that's moving freely. And then what will happen is this will go on to the hot end, and it's going to go in there. So you'll get one end will hook in there like that, and that, you see, that's going to stay on there because that's not going anywhere. And then the other end will go on that side. So you see how it's going to pull it, because the way that it's done with a pulley is one end, it's only ever a pull action. Either one side is pulling that way or the other side is pulling that way. There's never a push action. So right, so next we need...
All right. Steve is saying that you're doing it wrong.
I'm doing it wrong.
Apparently, right. He says you need to assemble the x-axis and adjust the eccentric nuts on the wheels.
Right. Okay. So I've just done step 5. Hang on. There's a nut involved there somewhere. So I'm confused. So there should be a bar coming across there now then, should there? Right, so X, Y. Right, okay, the excess, right. Yeah, you definitely do need one or two of these. I've lost them now. Where have they gone? These. So where are these going then? That's what I can't figure out. That's not going across like that, is it? Right. And I need two M4 by 16s. So let's find the nuts. Right.
What's an eccentric nut? I don't actually know what that is.
Oh, I don't. I was just trying to sort of bluff my way through. But you found me out now. Right. So we want two of those and two washers.
Oh, it goes through between the wheels.
Goes through between the wheels. Oh, so I shouldn't have put that in there then. I can't get this other washer out. Ah, hang on. That's not a washer. They're split washers. That's okay. Right. So.
But in all fairness, like, one side have them. They have hexagon shafts. I mean, in all fairness, like, if you are new to 3D printing and you got this kit, you wouldn't really know what you were doing, would you? Really?
No, I've only got some idea because obviously I've already got a printer. Right. Yeah, this bit isn't assembled yet, is it? To that. Right, okay, let's make sure I've got the right bits. So, right, that's that bit. I'm wanting to put this there because that will fit, but not quite. So, I'm stuck. Right, so, right, I've seen Steve Graham has put that's correct. So, but obviously I don't know what point he's typed that. So, question, I'm going to go one question at a time. Shall I take this belt off and backtrack with it? Yeah, I will, because we haven't finished step 5 and this belt is step 6. So that's coming out, and we'll do that when we get to step 6. So there's a deep recess on one side for the bolts. Right, so should I now take this bit off? I'm guessing yes. Because I think that this bar is going to attach to that first. And I think it's going to go in there.
Steve's saying don't panic. Steve,
No panics.
This is bringing back memories of when you did your first printer, and I'm going, don't panic, calm down.
No panic this time. Right. Okay, so, right, backtrack. Right, I'm going to remove this. Right. I am going to leave the stepper motor screwed in. That's okay, because that stepper motor was screwed in step 4, wasn't it? Right. Yeah, right. So we are now at the beginning of step 5. So we've got the 2 nuts there and washers. We've got this, and this is now in the orientation that the instructions have given us. And we've got this piece, and we've got that. That bit is definitely going in there. But now it's asking us to put 2 screws in there. Why is it asking us to put 2 screws in? No, it's not asking us to put 2 in there. Right. Okay, right. Okay. So that's the orientation that the instructions have given us. So it's asking us to put screws in there. There. That's where it's asking us to put them. Right. Got it. So that's going in there. Got it. Look. You've got two screw holes. And then this bit there is a housing for that nut there. That's just a little recess. Is that a bingo, Steve? I'm going to sit here until you say yes or no, but I think I've got that correct. I'm now remembering, I'm now remembering that the screws go in there, but you've got holes there to get the Allen key through, or the screwdriver, or whatever you're using, which again is another bit of clever engineering, I think. So,
yeah, he said great, perfect.
yeah. Okay, that took a little while, but right. So what we're going to do, nut and washer.
This is really interesting, actually, because I do want to get one of these just as a second printer at some point, so at least I know. And
I have actually watched about 4 videos on assembling this. As you can see, I've not assembled it because I did open the box in front of you. But so right, those nuts are going in there, but you can see that they're difficult to get to, which is why you've got the holes there. So, but you've got 2 screw holes, and then you've just, it's a little recess just for that. Right, I've lost the orientation. Right, I've got this the wrong way around. Instead of putting them in there, I should actually put them in there. Not a panic, though. Not to panic. Right, except I've just lost a washer. That's right. That's there. It's not going to roll any further now, is it? Right. So.
Steve says, "Don't call me, Horner."
I'm enjoying this. You know, it's big question. Would I consider this beginner? At this point, I'm not sure. Right. So we're going to line the 2 screw holes there, and you can see this little sticky out bit there. That's going to run into that hole. So again, just like all the other screws, it's all about getting them into the actual hole. Once you've got them in, tightening them is easier. Right, I think that's, I've got to do this by feel. Oh, oh, oh. Right, so I'll just gently pull them. They should have bitten. Yeah, they have. Oh no, that end one hasn't gone in. That's really close to the end. So I'm trying to keep this on camera, but I don't know if that's going in.
Oh, Steve says, "Don't tighten them too much."
Right. Is there a particular reason why you don't tighten them too much? So I just think, like when I do my plastic screws, I always say screw them until the resistance increases. Is that what you'd recommend for this? Because they're metal, you'd be tempted to screw them really hard. Right. That's on with no wobbles. So I'm happy with that. Right, I can see how this is going to go now. Yeah, this is where the hot end's going to sit, and this will obviously go up and down, and the hot end will go across. So I don't know if that should go there yet. Right, so now the belt goes on. for step 6, but I'm actually going to miss that out. I'm going to step back to it because then it's not going to fall anywhere, is it?
Oh, because you have to line them up in the 2 pillars.
Oh, I see. So I'll go back to that. Will I adjust it? I can't even find it where they are. Oh, no, I can't get to them once this is on. But I don't know if you can see that. There's the 2 screws I just put in. You see them there at the top? Once I push that in, I got no access to them.
Oh, he's saying do the other end now.
Okay, right, the other end. So we've got this piece, which is going to go. That's could be. Oh, that's going on that end. Right. Okay. And then is this the? Oh, this is the hot end. Right. This is where I've got to figure out my wires now, haven't I? So get that nice and straight. That can come in from the top. So that's going to slide onto there. So that's the hot end.
Yeah, Steve's helping. I mean, yeah, definitely, because I don't really know. I've never actually built a printer, so mine just comes assembled. But yeah, I mean, I haven't got a clue. So I think any help is.
Right. So this piece is going to be attached to that rod, and that will eventually run up and down here. So what I'm finding interesting is that we've only got the 1 rod for the Z-axis. I'm guessing we get away with that because it's a smaller bed, whereas with a larger bed you need 2 to stop it from, too much weight on this end would cause it to droop. Steve, you are an absolutely amazing help right now. Listen, you know, without even me telling you, I probably wouldn't have got this far now. Right, so I need 2 M4x16s. I think I've seen them already. M4, M5. I think I've already seen them. M4x16s. Yeah, I knew I'd seen them. We used them in the last stage, didn't we? Right, so there's 2 screws. There's 2 washers. We've still got 2 washers and 2 screws. They go back in the box. And yeah. So this is going to go. Right, we eventually want it this way. I think. Yeah. So it wants it that way. And then this is going to go this way. So that's got to go in like that. Right. So again, we've got the little space there for that bit to go into it, and then 2 holes. So they are going to go in screw in there.
Okay, so Steve says with that on, check the wheels are not slipping.
Right. I'll do that in a sec because I don't know what they're like to be slipping against. Right. I need to balance this somewhere. Right. So first nut. That is not in. If it goes in too easy, you know it's not gone in. This is where I could really use the bit from the Orrerry, but Oh, I might be in luck. Might not. Yeah. Yeah, look, this is the one. This one's too small. And that's the one I missed. I'm missing the 2.5. I don't know what happened to it.
I've got mine right here, but I can't give it to you.
Yeah, you just want to reach out, don't you, and go, there you go, Penny. Now I can't find the... It's just a case of getting that screw into the hole. If you don't have the screw exactly 90 degrees, it's quite difficult to put in. And then you kind of need to jiggle it. But then if you jiggle it, and it's only in a little bit, it falls out. Right. I've got a tiny bite on that. So we'll go with that. Ah, there we go. Wheel away. So again, is this another one? Hey, Chris, we are building a 3D printer now. Steve, is this another one where I want to go not too tight? Right, so that's, check this is the next step. But I'm just going to put this on just to make sure they run okay. What I'm feeling for is evenness. If there's a flat spot, obviously I'll find it.
Steve says tighten that one up you've just done.
Right. This is interesting. All of the wheels are running. Oh no, this one is as well. This one's not really, really tight against that, but it's running. So I'm happy with those wheels. I can't feel any flat spots. I know from some of the videos that I've been watching that is an issue. Right, so do these ones up tight. Yeah, you don't want these ones falling off, do you?
Try to turn the wheels and you should feel resistance.
What, these? Yeah, there is, well, that one I can't. Yeah, there's resistance on. Oh, minimal, but there is resistance. So, right. So now I'm going to go back to step 6. You kind of understand why I did that now, can't you? Oh, we're not actually even attaching it yet. And now I get what this is for. Right, so from this side then, now can you see the cog? That's a lot better, isn't it? So, right, so that obviously needs to run along that rail. Which it doesn't want to go. Right. That's one bit in, one side. This is not wanting to play, but it's not got that much choice. Right. Okay, so that belt is now over those cogs. So as the wheel turns, it'll move the belt in whichever direction it's doing it. Right, so that wants to carry on through there. Like so. All the way under and round. And that will hook into there. Now I see why you didn't want to put that on yet. Okay. I might have done this. Oh, hang on. No, hang on. I want to come in from that side, don't I? Of course I do. Because then that's not going to catch on anything. Right, so that one's on there, and that leaves this one going onto there, and that is loose, but there is a way to tighten that. There's tensioners. Are you happy with that, Steve? So you see that wasn't advisable, but as that turns, it's either going to pull it there inwards or it's going to pull it that side outwards. Need more? Yeah. It's, to be absolutely honest with you, and I don't mean this to come out the wrong way, it's so much harder trying to do it on a camera.
It says you need the adjuster.
That's it. That's step 8. So step 8, adjuster. So it's getting easier with the packets now.
So what I'm confused about is that Steve said obviously to tighten the left-hand side up, but not the right at the moment. Do you tighten the right-hand side up later, or is that just leave that loose?
No, you can't get at it now. I think it's to do with the mechanisms.
Right.
If you tighten something up, obviously you add more friction. Right. Okay. I'm struggling now. Let's have a look at this big bag of tricks. Must be in there. Whoop. Right, it's not in there. Have we seen the tensioner?
It's a big part, apparently.
Could be what?
It's a big part.
It is a big part, is it? Right. So let's get rid of those. Right, it's not on the desk. Right, I'm going to put that on there. Because then it's not going to run away then, is it? I just hope I'm not missing a part. Because that would be a disaster when you're doing a live build, wouldn't it? I can see what it looks like. It's going to be, looking at the size of this and the size of these rods, it's going to be about that long. What's got me stumped? It looks like it's got the screws already in it.
It's not on the in the other piece of foam that was in the box or underneath the bit of foam. So it's
No, just had a little look inside bits of foam. I did find little bits of foam. I've got it. I've got it. It's in with the filament because that is a really good, sensible place to put it, isn't it? Right. So let's see how this goes on. I'm gonna turn the print around. So just so I've got this bar will then be the same orientation as the instructions. Right, so oops, sorry guys. Right, so it's going on this end. Right, okay. So right, so I need to loosen off these just a little bit. And I think these are the same size as the last ones. No, I'll use the Allen key. I'll use a bigger Allen key. There we go. So loosen them off a bit. Slide. Just bring that off. Slide those onto there. I think these are T-nuts. Did I say these were called earlier? Right. Loosen them off a bit more. Right. I'll loosen them off a lot more. Right. Oh, I can't get them in. They don't want to go. That one's in. Right, so tighten them off so they're staying put. Then I want to stretch this over there gently because I don't want to break it. This doesn't want to play ball. Right, there we go. That's on there. So, right. So what I now want to do is now loosen them off. Push that out as far as I can to the right tension. Tighten them up. And
so, how do you know what the tension is?
right, what I was actually going to do was go over to my CR10 and compare it. These belts here, I'd say they're a touch loose. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing there. What someone said is if you grab the belt, you should about 180-degree twist at most. Is that right, Steve? If you can pull that up and go twist, 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 that's way too loose. If you can't even get at it, it's too tight. But this one runs in a groove, so it's harder to get to. So I was just going to compare it to my CR10. I seem to remember it being looser. Right. Pretty much the same principle as a dog lead, which is you can get a finger in there. Yeah. You can't really see that, but you go on. Yeah, but knowing what the feel is. You remember this time last year, I couldn't level a bed by eye. Now I hardly ever use a piece of paper. Right, I would say that's just ever so slightly too loose. So, but I don't think this is going to go out much more. Right, so I want that fairly tight because I don't want it to slip. And yeah, trying to, there we go. There you go. So you see how much I can lift that up by. that's about the same as my CR10. And that's running freely. No, you are winning. Right, so I'm happy with that. So we've got to be on the home straight now, haven't we? We've done most of the tricky bits, haven't we?
I think so.
Right, now the pictures get complicated. Step 9. Let's move this camera up. Right, let me grab a drink because I am sweating buckets here and it's hot. Not as hot as it was. So give me 2 secs.
So, Steve, have you got this same printer then? I mean, I know they're all much like the same, but have you got this exact printer? And is there any? I assume they're good, are they? Are there anything in particular that you suggest we upgrade on it? Because obviously, if I get one, I'm going to look at, possibly doing the relevant upgrades to make it as best as it can be.
What I found with with my CR10 is that this bit here is ready to go, but you want to be looking at upgrading it to an all metal bit.
Yeah.
So it just holds a bit. And the all metal bit has an adjustable spring, because that spring will loosen up in a couple of weeks. So it just won't hold the filament in, but it'll work out of the box. You've seen my Micro Swiss hot end. I found that a lot more efficient. And a couple of bits. The fan. Do you see the fan is here? Where are we? There we go. Here's the fan. Now, if you get any strings or anything falls off this print bed, they're going to go straight into that fan. So there's a couple of upgrades you can print that it actually provides a little cover. So the fan outlet goes here.
Right.
And then the last upgrade, because the spool holder is on the top, the filament's going to come straight down and then a hard angle into the feeder. So there's a print you can, it'll go in there and it just juts out and at a slight angle and a circle. And what it'll do is it'll just give it a little bit more of a curve to go in.
Right.
It's not a major upgrade, but it's it just assists.
And change the bed springs is a must. So is there a certain spring you need to buy, or what? How do you go about that? Is there like specific springs, or just something a bit more hardier?
It's better quality ones, really, isn't it? Right. I can see that that's too close to the bed. Right, so, step 9 is to put that on. That's fine. So step 10 is the top bar. We've got 2 stoppers. We've got the bar. They look the same both ways. So that's just going to go on top there like that. As simple as that. And then that should space that bit out then, shouldn't it? And that's going to go in with M5 by 25 screws. Can you remember that for me? You know I'm crap with numbers.
What was that?
M5 by 25.
Oh, you need an SD card extender. Can you print via USB on it? Because obviously I wouldn't use an SD. I would use Octoprint.
I think you can go straight to the printer because you've got the USB input, which you don't get a USB cable with it. Right, M5 by 25. I'll just double check they are the right ones. M5 by 25, and you want washers as well. which they've got washers wrapped around them already, so that's nice and easy. So that one's going to go in there. I mean, the thing you've got to remember first and foremost is that this is a cheap printer made with cheap materials, but it's not like you're going to give it heavy use. It's not built to be attractive. It's built to do a job. Your Ultimaker looks a work of art, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does look quite pretty, and it's all lit up.
But it's a lot more money than mine.
Yeah, I sort of don't. It's just I would like one of them just to do, as I say, you know, most normal prints, because I don't necessarily want to burn out that printer for, you know, if I'm printing something on like rough or something.
Yeah.
I just want something to do like a prototype with or something before perhaps printing. If I want a good quality print, then I might stick it on the Ultimaker. But saying that, I've seen footage of these Enders doing amazing prints.
Yeah. See, what my plan is, because of the price of this, I'll be honest with you, I won't get another one from Banggood. I'd rather spend the 25 quid and get a better plug. But if that plug doesn't bother you, you know, if you leave it plugged in all the time in the wall, and you're not going to be pulling it out and in and out of the wall, then that plug is probably ample. Right, okay, I'm happy with that. Oh, we haven't put the arm in, have we? Okay, I'm happy with that. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. Right, I notice when it gets higher up, these two wheels aren't making contact. It's hard there. Right, so that wheel there, oh, you can't see it. You won't see it rotating because it's black, but that one there, it's moving, it's moving, it's moving, it's moving, it's moving, it's moving, still moving, and now it's stopped. So from hair to hair, but obviously it's still got contact there. And this one isn't moving at all. So is that an issue, do you think?
So how would you go about adjusting that? Is there an adjustment?
I don't think you can, because you still got contact with two wheels on the outside. The two wheels on the outside, or the four wheels on the outside, are making strong contact. And the main up and downy bit is going to be this bit here, which we should already have put in. So that's
Oh, the hexagon shaft.
Yeah.
Oh, so you adjust those hexagon nuts. Is it like, are they slightly off center so that when you twist it, the wheel closer to the actual shaft? Is that right? Turn it slightly with the spanner provided. Oh,
right, that's not going on. Right. The hexagon shaft. Right.
So on the wheels, on the side wheel, there's a hexagon.
Right.
And I assume that's slightly off center. So as you turn it one way, it will bring the wheel slightly closer to the.
It's going to actually move the wheel sideways by moving it backwards and forwards. So I wonder, do you think that might have been an issue with my CR10? See, this is great. This is no pain for itself, isn't it? Right. This I'm struggling with now because this thread isn't going fully in. was it did before. I think I might get away with it by loosen. Yeah, by loosen those nuts off. Oh, okay, let's tighten them. I don't even think that's the right size. Trying to tighten a nut up with a Allen key that's too big. Too small, sorry. Kind of doesn't work. Right, I know you can't see this. Right, I am a bit worried about that. This bit there where the stepper motor is, you've got two, I'm going to call them, for want of a better expression, two giant grub screws. And that should be tighter than that. But this rod doesn't seem to slip in very far.
Right. Steve says to slacken the top screws off on that side.
Slacken the top screws off.
Yeah, on the top of the. I think he means on the top.
That just fell in them. That just fell in. Yeah, by the top, do you mean these two there?
Yeah. No, I think he means on the frame.
Oh, there.
Possibly. I think. Yes.
I don't need to remove them, do I? Just slacken them or loosen them more. Right. I think that has actually gone in now anyway, because it slipped and went downwards. Right, I wanna. Yeah, okay, that's tighter. Right, so I'm going to tighten that up now. I can't remember which Allen key I'm using. Not that one. That's too small.
Oh, yeah, he's saying, the two screws. So I think the ones he originally pointed at the top, and that will level the rod if you slacken them off.
Okay. Having said that, it's already gone in anyway. Oh, come on. These Allen keys do work, but they're a bit fiddly sometimes. There we go. Right, I'm happy with that then. Right. So, obviously I need to tighten these up again now. Right. Step 10. Oh, no, we've just got to finish them off with the two plastic caps on the end.
Yeah, and you need to adjust the wheels as well first, don't you?
All right, yeah. Oh, that's where the spanners come in, isn't it?
Yeah, you need the spanner. You said really slowly.
Right. How do I know which way to turn it? Oh, that's done it. Brilliant. Oh, Steve, you're great. Yeah, so basically what I've done is I've made the contact, then I've kept turning it one way until it no longer had contact, and I just wound it back a bit. So same with this side then. I've turned that the wrong way actually.
Right, at least you've got something to check on your CR10 now.
Yeah. Well, I know what to do tomorrow now, don't I? Right, contact still made. Contact still made. Good job we got Steve, isn't it? Right, good. No, not moving anymore. I'm literally giving it 1/16 of a turn. There we go. I'm happy with that. Right, so all 6 wheels now are making contact and moving with the rod.
Brilliant.
I'm just double checking these ones that were working. Yeah, that's still working. Obviously, because one adjusting one may obviously affect another. Oh, no, it's made this one go out. Okay, so I'm guessing I have to still keep turning then, do I? That's better. Yeah, right, all wheels are turning. So all 6 wheels on this bit here, these 2 and the other 4, they're all making contact and they move as this goes up and down. And I know there's no slack. Yeah, do you know what, Dave? It's more interesting than I thought it would be. Right, so step 12 is connecting all the wires, which is where I swore last time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So just to double check, Steve Graham, is that where you think we're up to?
Oh, and obviously you need to measure, don't you, that limit switch as well?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually not going to... what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this bed right down. I'll sort that out tomorrow, so I'm not going to do a print. So... But we know we're going to be changing these springs anyway. Oh, that needs to go really down. Right. Because you can see from the scratch mark there, I don't know if you can see it, but the nozzles caught it. It was too high to start with. But obviously always start with a bed too low. I've done that before. I've had expensive build tacky stuff. And I had the bed, I kind of stupid really, but oh, spool holder, of course. Yeah, step 11. I've accidentally missed step 11. Yeah, so obviously you put something on it. You need to bring the bed down, don't you? Because it's going to make the bed higher. And I put this bed on and then just went straight into a print. And it pierced a hole in the build tacky stuff. Right, so this goes in somehow.
Good.
Okay.
Hi, love minis. It's
Hey,
another
love me.
printer.
I think I might put this rod in upside down. Yeah, I think I have. I'm going to take it off. There should be 2 holes for the spool holder, but there are 0 holes. So which of course I'm guessing might mean that I need to adjust those, check those holes again, the wheels. Sorry about the knocking the camera.
Oh, no, love minis. I'm all right. I feel a lot better than I was yesterday. A lot better. Right, I'll be back in 2 shakes.
Yeah, no problems.
I'm just going to go and grab a white chocolate cookie.
Come on. I know you can't see this, but I'm just undoing these screws by... Oh no, there is no holes. Okay, so it's telling us to put... Can I? No, I can't. So where's that going to go then, Steve? T-bolts. Ah, okay, yeah, that makes sense now. Yeah, and I remember seeing as soon as you put that, I'm like, yeah, I remember seeing them now. Okay, let me put this bar back on then. Oh, it feels off now. Let's move that to one side so I don't knock the camera so much. Well, look on the bright side. I'll build my next one in half the time, won't I? T-bolts. So that means I'm going to have to take those screws. No, I won't. Ignore me. Ignore me. Ignore me. So, screws. Screws. Check Allen key. Too small. Too big. Feel like Goldilocks now. This one's too big. This one's too small. This one's just right. Right. Right, let's take the first screw out. Let's deal with one at a time. I'm just saying, Horlicks, that finding your the correct Allen key is like Goldilocks. This one's too big. This one's too small. This one's just right. Right. That's not going to work. That's not right. They're too long. Unless I put the T-bolts in wrong. They're wrong ones. because the ones that is in the picture is yeah. I am getting tired, but I'm muddling along. Right, see if I've got more. M5T. The M5. I got the T's, but I haven't got the bolts. M5 by 8s. I've got 3 M5 by 8s left over. I think this is the one, isn't it? Oh! Right. I think that's going to be too small. Ah, this might be handy. I think I'm going to put... Oh! So that's the Allen key. That's the wrong two. I've just got it here. Sorry, I'm kind of semi doing this off camera. I don't mean to. That's the one. So I put a screw in there. Yeah, that's better. All right. Because they were too long. Doesn't actually matter which way round it goes, does it? We'll put it that way. Right, so whoa. You see me okay there? Yeah. There we go. Do you know how much this will hold? This spill holder? Just out of curiosity. Asking for a friend. Because where I get filament from, they do 4.5 kilogram rolls. There's no way I'm going to be putting 4.5 kilograms on there. I think that's asking a bit much. Right, so all that's left to do now is put that in there and then fasten that. So that on there, and then that goes around like that. And I know that's really, really close up, but your spool of filament goes there. That is actually surprisingly sturdy. I don't know how well that's going to hold though. Oh. Oh well, that'll hold. What I might actually do is try and extend that a bit. I don't think that will fall off because that lip is enough. But, yeah, no, 4.5 kilograms. It's not an awful lot cheaper. It works out at about 50 pence cheaper than buying 4.5 rolls. But you'll have to do so many filament changes, would you? Right, so what I think is the next stage then is putting all the connectors together. And I think I'll do them as they come, as I see them. But, oh, Bowden tube. No, I'll put the Bowden tube in later. because it can't snag on anything then, can it? So, see, I'm worried about leaning this over now because we've got some delicate parts. So, Z, that's this one, isn't it? Right, that's in. Right. This is a hard one because that's got to go in the back of the circuit board. Right. So, right. That should be a Z, which it is. Still see me? Can't even see me now, can you? Right, sorry, I'm trying to do it on camera, but you know me. Right, Z-axis plugged in. That one we've already plugged in. I've seen the other end of that. We'll come to that. Right, E, extruder. So that's coming up the side. Oh, so X, E. Do you remember when we did the last one? And I was going, well, what's this M mean?
Yeah.
Where's the M go? Right, where's these ones go then? X. X is two X's. Different
Limit
size.
switch, that motor.
Oh, yeah, they do this one, don't they? Oh. Right. Struggling to find this one now. Oh, there we go. Oh, there's plugs all over the place. Right, this one's a struggle because it's kind of going in the hole. I don't know if that's gone in. Right. That's gone in, but I'm not liking it. Yeah, that's okay. Right. So, more wires. Ah, there's that other plug I was looking for. Where's the other end? So, it's interesting trying to figure out where they go, up, down, left, right, whatever. Right, and that last one, you can't really see it. This one there, that needs to go in the circuit board. So I have to rotate this way. And then I'll bring that under here. Ah, right.
You've got 3 connectors, haven't
Yeah.
you?
Pardon?
Have you got 3 plugs?
Yeah. EXP3. That's this end one. Because it will go in all of them. So if you're making this, read the instructions. Yeah, that's typical, isn't it? It goes in the most awkward one to reach. I don't know if that's the best place to put that wire.
Can you not put it through and bring it up through behind the screen?
It's behind, what you mean, like under that way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just wondering how it's going to sit. Right, okay. So I think all wires are plugged in except for the Bowden tube, which is now plugged in. that I'm happy with. I'm not going to put the blue clip in yet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to plug it in and I'm going to home it. And then I'm going to move each axis individually, but I'm not going to do much else with it because obviously I'm not going to level the bed. Obviously, we don't know if that's correct yet. I think that is correct because a couple of guys I watched on YouTube, they pretty much just slid it down as far as it'll go. But I still want to just measure it properly. So plug in the back side. Plug this into my lovely little extension cable I've screwed into a shelf. Right, we have a light. We have a fan. So, whoa, similar display to what I'm used to. I can't really get in much closer, but yeah, you can't read that. So, prepare auto home. This is the moment of truth, guys. Little bit of clunking. Ooh. That is the rod. So what I'm going to do, that's sticking.
That might be where he said, Steve said to undo the 2 screws to level the rod.
Of course, yeah. Right, so let's switch off. Right, so I want to loosen off these 2 screws, did you say? Oh, I'm saying these 2. So I loosen these ones off a little bit then, yeah?
I think so. Just wait for Steve to confirm.
Yeah. I'm further along on this print now than I thought I would be this morning. So I'm not in a rush. So Steve, you've just said, yeah. Did you just say yes?
Yeah, I did, yeah. So loosen them off.
Am I loosening just a little tiny bit?
Oh, we can't see.
Right. I've loosened them. You can't see, can you now? Right. I've just loosened those 2 off about an 1/8 or 1/16 of a turn. It's on the Z rod, yeah. That's these 2 then, yeah. Oh, it's a long old stream, isn't it? Right, yes, right, okay, so let's try again then.
So what do you have to do? Loosen them, run the printer up and down, and then tighten them at a specific point, or do you just leave them loose?
Right. That's still not going, is it? Right. Okay. So, should I loosen them some more?
Leave the slack. So maybe loosen them a tad more.
Right, okay. Let me just, so I'm just decided I'm having a cigarette, so I'm halfway through now. I can't stop now. Right, so let's switch off then. What have I just done with that?
Oh, he said check the wheel again. Check the wheels as well.
Right. Yeah, wheels looking good. Right, okay, I'm going to go with that.
They're not too tight, though, are they? I think maybe it means check them to make sure they're not too tight against the rod, the the bar.
Yeah, right, let's. Oh, it's a bit squeaky, but it's moving. Oh, right, yeah, okay. I think I know what I got to do. I don't know what those bits are, but okay. Right, now I'm at the point now I'm starting to think, have I buggered it up?
No, so I would slacken, get the Allen, the spanner, and loosen those wheels on the sides, perhaps.
Yeah. Okay.
Because if you remember at the beginning, it was making contact at the bottom, but not the top. So where you've adjusted it at the top, maybe it's causing too much pressure on them at the bottom now.
I just can't remember which way is loose and which one is tighten. I think that's tighten. Oh god, yeah, that's really tight now, isn't it? Wow, that's not even trying to move now. Right. See, it's all right doing the old righty tighty lefty loosey, but when the screws are on a different way round, right. Ah, that's better. I can move the rod now with my hand. That might have made a difference.
It says try to move the wheels by hand as you adjust. So that's a good
Yeah.
idea. So maybe adjust it. See if you can.
Like that. Yeah.
So I bet. So I know what he means now. So what you need to do is obviously shut it off. Use the spanner, and then with your finger try and move the the wheels, and then
Oh, I see.
tighten it very. Just keep trying to turn the wheel until it.
You mean what you mean is I've made it so tight that the wheels are locking it in.
Yeah.
Okay, I think yeah, you can actually go over. Yeah.
Apparently, it should just
Gotcha.
it should
Right.
just slip.
Theoretically, this should be an improvement, which it isn't. Right. I'm not liking this anymore. Yeah. Right, I've noticed that if you tighten it, you move it one way, you can get that wheel to move. If you carry on, it then tightens up again. Do you know what I think the problem is? I think the problem's down there in the mower. I think that rod's not in there properly. Because those two wheels are now very loose.
Apparently, yeah, it will, apparently.
See, now that's completely stuck. Right, that's now hit the stepper motor, the stopper. Right. Right, so if I go move, control motion, all right. I can't remember how to move it now. Right, motion. Oh, I can't remember how to move. Right, motion. Why did I not move the axis? Main. Prepare. Move axis. Move Z. Could it be that it just needs some oil or something in there? It's too dry and too much friction.
I thought those motors were supposed to be really strong. I don't know why it's...
That's moving on its own now. Can you hear how squeaky it is? It just needs running in, but that is rather squeaky, isn't it?
Where's the squeak coming from?
From inside that brass bit where the steel rod is.
Well, I suppose you could try a bit of 3-in-1.
So now there's some guy, he sprays Teflon stuff in there. That is actually moving though. It's got a horrible square. I'm only, there we go. It's stuck near the bottom.
Oh, we said take the Z rod out and try and move the Z axis up and down.
Right.
Please unlock your phone for this.
Who's that?
Oh, my phone. It thought I said, I don't know. It thought I said something.
Oh,
Yeah, because I suppose you could also turn the rod round as well.
oh yeah. Theoretically shouldn't make a difference, but
No, but it might be slightly kinked or.
right. Sorry, guys.
So how loose is that brass bit with the 2 screws?
Fairly loose. Should I tighten them up?
Or maybe a little bit.
Right. This, without the brass rod, I really can't not feel any problems with it. It's the same amount. Let me do it slowly. There's the same amount of, I'll use the word resistance, but there's the same amount of resistance all the way up. It's only difficult because of the weight of it. I wonder if they're actually even lining up. There we go. I bet that's just done it, isn't it? Right. Oh, oh. It shouldn't work because it's not tightened up, but I'm just going to give it another little movement.
Oh, now he's saying without the rod. I think he means without the rod. Try the Z-axis stepper motor on its own without anything attached.
Gotcha. Right, let me just try this. It's not moving.
Hang on, though. Lift that bit up on it.
Oh, of course, yeah. Yeah, that's moving. Right.
Because that's got to be a certain distance from the bottom as well, hasn't it, Penny?
Oh, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, if I had that too far down.
Yeah, that would have caused a load of resistance.
Right, okay. So. Okay, right. So that's going to slip into there. That is that.
So what I would do is fix that silver bit on the motor first.
Right. No, I've figured it out. Right. What you need to do, if you push that too far down, the top of the stepper motor actually poke. I don't know if you can see, but it gets smaller as you go down. That's a little ledge for that. If you push that too far down, then your stepper motor pokes up, and that rod isn't going to go all the way in. So what you got to do is put your rod in first. So you can't see it, can you, because of the wire. Put your rod in first, then put your stepper motor in. Put it onto the stepper motor. Oh, actually, put the thing in the stepper motor, lift it up. Oh, you idiot. Right. This is actually split. Right. You've got one bit to fasten it to the stepper motor and one to attach the rod.
Yeah.
So
That's
I'm going to take this rod out.
Attach it to the motor first.
Right. Yeah. So. And then that way we can hold it there and then do it up. I think that's going to fix that then. Right, guys, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to completely ignore where the camera is. Right. Don't even know if that's tightening up. So, should we use the correct sized Allen key? I'm rotating and rotating and rotating, and it's not getting anywhere. Right, I've lost an Allen key. Sorry, I've mislaid an Allen key.
Oh,
Right, okay, it's somewhere. It's somewhere. There it is. Right. Okay, so that is the correct size. Right, so. Right, so that's on. So I'm really sorry that you guys can't see this, or you might be able to, I don't know.
yeah, just about.
Okay, so right, so that is on really tight. So let's now move that, and that is rotating. Can you see that? So that now works. So if I now get this rod, and we thread it through there, and we keep threading that. Now it doesn't want to go into the stepper motor. Sorry, I just swore on camera then, didn't I? Right, that's in. That is in. So, as you can probably see, we've got clearance underneath the stepper motor, enough to get that Allen key in. So, up. I'm only doing it in 10mm increments. Oh. Oh. Right. So prepare auto home. Right, here we go. Well, that's now a new world record.
Perfect.
So that was a human error. I don't think I had the rod in properly, and I had the little housing too far down.
So what I would do now is slightly tighten those two screws back because they were quite loose.
Lovely. Okay, so right, I've turned the computer printer off. So we want those tight, do we?
Not tight, but I would just tighten them a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just going to tighten them until they resist.
And then retest and then check the wheels for alignment again.
Yeah. Right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch it back on. So it's all at zeros now, isn't it? So if I move the z-axis up to say 100, and then back down again.
Yeah, maybe look at the wheels and see if they're.
Yeah, they're all moving. Yeah, all wheels are moving. That axis is moving. Right, that's 100. Can someone remind me what's the height? Is it 200 for this, or is it 250? Well, we just keep going. Right, 200. Basically, the actual height really is as high as, and just keep going until it looks dangerous, and then don't go any further. Right.
Is there not a stopper at the top?
No. It just goes where it can't actually go anymore.
250.
Right, that's 200. I'm sure it's 250 or 240, 250, 220, 230, 240, and I would say 240 would be my comfortable limit. We might get 260 out of that, but I'm not going to try. Right, so I'm going to bang it right down to 100, and I'm going to start looking at the X and Y axis. But I'm happy. I'm really happy with that. Obviously, I've not done a print, and I'm not going to do a print until I've bed leveled and checked this bit there. So, Steve, are you happy with that? Other than the fact I haven't printed. And I'll tell you what, if this is a really good printer, or at least as good as my Creality CR10, sorry, I might actually just keep getting these. Right, so testing the X-axis. $150, 200. Oh, actually goes 210, 230, 235 is the maximum. All the way back to 0. Testing the y-axis. 80. 140, 235. And all the way back to 0. Nothing wrong with that, is there?
Steve says if he sends your address,
Yeah,
yellow.
he did send me a message the other day, and I forgot to respond. Right, not really much. I can test it, can't I? Let's see. Right, I'll get one of my. I was sensible enough when I sent Love Mini some filament to actually keep some back myself. I'm not going to feed this through all the way to the extruder, the hot end, whatever you want to call it, but
what you could do is take the Bowden tube back out and then just feed it through the hole into nothing.
yeah. Do you know what I found? Like the other day, I've always cut my filament like that. I didn't realise that was actually an expert tip.
Yeah, I have to cut mine like that, otherwise it won't go in. If I try to do that with my Ultimaker, it just jams.
Right, extruder. Oh, you know why that's not moving, don't you? It won't move if you haven't heated it.
Right.
Temperature. Nozzle.
Oh, you have chamfer at the end.
Sorry?
You've chamfered the end.
I don't know what that means.
I think chamfer must mean what you did when you cut the end, perhaps.
Yeah. I can't remember the oh, it is. Yeah. Let's go 190. Because it won't move if you haven't actually yeah, it won't move if you don't heat it up. Bed temperature is 28. I'm going to leave it at 28. I'm going to leave it undone. I mean, right. So, yeah, tomorrow morning I'll get a little print sorted out. I'll tell you what I am interested in. You can get a little parts tray that goes in there. So you just toolbox. Sorry.
Did you plug the two cables in earlier?
The two cables.
You know
This one.
the plug. It's like a big black plug.
Don't know what you mean.
There was like a funny cable. I suppose. Is that the one that comes from the power supply?
Oh yes, yeah. The two yellow ones.
Right.
And one had a bit of a square end and one had a circly end, a rounded end. Right. Prepare. Move axis. Extruder. Oh, see, I started already, look. That's not feeding through. Unless I haven't got that in properly. Right, that is feeding. Yeah, that's not great Bowden tube. That is really, really slow. But that is feeding through.
Well, yeah, I suppose the print decides how fast it needs to come out, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll get my little handy little thing I got ages ago. I printed ages ago. There we go. Just a little flag. So I'm just pulling that out because I don't want that to go all the way through the hot end yet. I suppose I could though, couldn't I? Right, I don't think there's anything else to do now, is there?
No, apart from obviously setting it up, setting your levels, and trying to print tomorrow.
Yeah.
So yeah, printer's built.
I've just done Tune. No. Control. Motion. Oh, I can't remember how I'm doing this now. Right, let's go on to the beginning. Right. Control. Motion. No. Oh, I can't remember the options now. Tune. Oh.
Well, it's where we're so used to what to print.
Yeah. I can't remember how to do auto home now. Is it control? motion. Oh, help. Right. I can't remember how to do auto home now.
Is it prepare?
I haven't got it. I tell you what, the switch off, switch on again. If in doubt, switch it off and switch it on again. Right, prepare. Move. Here we are, auto home. I wonder why that went up before it went down. There's a little bit of clunking, but I think it's because of the materials that it's made of. I also don't like this, so I'm going to be printing off some, well, no. Yeah, that's going to be sorted out. Oh, right, so that nozzle is a lot. Pardon?
I was just going to say that clunk. I'm sure I saw the extruder head back jump. Is the? I assume the limit switch is in okay.
Yeah, it's actually. Yeah, right. What it's done. Imagine that's the limit switch. Where are we? That's the limit switch.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So there's the limit switch, yeah?
Yeah.
As it comes down, it hits the limit switch, then it shoots up, and then it comes back down to there.
Right.
So I think what it's doing is it's coming back up just in case there's something in there. So if I could get a camera on it, I would. In fact, I can. Actually quite interesting, I think. I'm not working tomorrow, isn't it? Right, so. Right, can you see the, no, you can't see, right. There's the limit switch there. Right in the middle of the screen. Now, if I do repair, auto home, right, see how it goes up? It comes down, it jumps up, then it goes back down again slowly. And that's where the juddery noise is. It's where it's coming down in small steps. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. So,
so you just need to find a home for it now?
Yeah. But that's what I'm tomorrow's for. This is why I've said I'm going back to YouTubing from July. Because, oh, this is terrible. This is not a good position, is it? Right. I think we can have you now, can't we? See a bit more of you.
Well, if you want.
Seen enough of me and my printer, haven't we? Yeah, no, I mean, tomorrow, I'm so sorry I'm sitting behind the printer now. This wasn't my plan. So, yeah, you're going to put up with me here now. Yeah, no, the plan is to have a big old sort out for tomorrow. And then, obviously, I've lost a day. I still maintain I was conned into working today. Because I was trying hard to say, no, I can't work. And my boss is like, every single question, she just went, well, why not? Why not? So in the end, I just went, okay, I'll do it just to shut her up. So tomorrow's going to be a sort of, I've got to move this. That's really annoying me. So next week, we'll be making some videos. And then the week after that will probably be July. So, yeah, that's why I've got quite a long schedule. This is really annoying me sitting behind this printer. I'm sorry. But you're hiding up and all.
No, but it's good though, because I mean, we've both learned things now, I think, with like those printers, because I didn't know you could adjust the wheels.
Yeah, I didn't know. That's what I've learned today, thanks to Steve Graham. I'm just going to say, acknowledge Dave. Sorry, I did read that earlier on. Yeah, no problems about. I mean, it's not like a prison sentence coming to see us on a Wednesday. But obviously, it's always good to see you when you can. And obviously, if you can't, then that's the way it is. So yeah, it's yeah, I've learned some things today, and what the original plan was for this was to do a few prints, make sure it works. Then I was going to take some bits off this and swap it with a CR10. If the CR10 then starts working again, I've then identified where the problem is. The parts on this will always go back on it, but I'm buying parts and it's still not working. And I'm going to end up spending more on replacing parts than it would cost me to get another one. And then I think I'm going to try and save up for another one of these. But I do like the bigger print bed. But I'm also interested to know, because you've got a small print bed, haven't you, Horlicks?
300 by 300. I think
you've got 300. Have you because you've only got the one now, haven't you?
Yeah, actually, maybe it's 2. No, it might not be 300 actually. Hang on.
What I'm interested to know is, with the smaller print bed, how much difference does it make with the bed leveling? Because one of the things that scares me about the big one is that you've only got to get a little bit out. If it then affects it right at the end of the print, can you imagine going through like 4 kilograms of filament and then it just fails at the end? Well, and we all know 99% of our problems are all to do with bed leveling.
Mine's 230 by 260.
Right.
But
that's a good shape, isn't it?
Yeah, it's more like a rectangle. But the thing is, I never have to level it. I've done it one. You do it when you get it, and if you've done any maintenance on it, you level the bed. I haven't leveled it for about 6 months, and it's still perfect level.
Yeah, well, the thing I had with the other one, I was always leveling it because I was using hairspray, and every time I put a layer of hairspray, the bed needs to be lowered just a tiny bit. This one,
yeah, I mean, I'm using hairspray on it, and I'm still not doing that, but it's perfectly fine. But
okay,
I think, as you said, they use really good quality parts, so the bed isn't flopping around or anything, or it doesn't move, and it hasn't really got any. It's got some springs, but they're really stiff. So I think,
yeah,
just general overall better build quality, and so I never have to level it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this is it. You with the Crealities. I mean, I'm not knocking Crealities. I'm very happy with the. I've got to move this printer. It's really doing my head in. I'm so sorry. Talking through the printer is very annoying. Let me use this. So there. Right. Okay. I'm happy now. Right. So yeah, I just chucked all the Orrerry all over the floor. Right. There's certain parts that don't need to be good quality. There's parts that just need to be functional. The framework, that doesn't need to be titanium. You know, why titanium when steel will do? Will I be showing the printer doing another print? Probably not, because the camera I use for recording prints, I've actually lent that to Chris Campling. So I might just follow up, see how he's getting on with the webcam. But until he's got his own camera, I'm down to my 2, which is the one you're looking through now, and then this one, which I use for the build. So it's a little bit awkward to record prints. I do enjoy doing them, actually. But yeah, I don't know.
Can you not borrow one of those cameras to do and hook it up?
I can, but it's all a fiddling about with the USB ports. And like I said to Horlicks, I don't know why, but I've got no sound. I've got to use a TV as a monitor because it's big. And I use the sound as well. Oh, look, we've got spare parts. Lots of them. For some reason, I don't know why, the picture on the TV is fine, but there's no sound. So I'm having to have the sound come through the inbuilt speaker on the laptop.
Have you checked the connections? Make sure the HDMI hasn't popped out, or
no? Because if the HDMI popped out,
no,
then,
I mean if it's come out at an angle, maybe one side does the picture and the sound or something.
I will check that tomorrow. Then I think I've had this before, thinking about it, but I'm not sure. So, but I mean, it's not the end of the world. If worst case scenario, I'll go back to having the headphones. But it is nice to have the microphone here and the speaker, and you can't hear the sound through the microphone, but I can. So that's all very handy. But no, it's my computer just seems to be throwing niggly problems at me. Nothing that totally destroys the print. I mean, worst case scenario, I now have to do a reboot reset now on the computer. But I wondered if I had a virus or something, or I picked up some what do you call that, advertising stuff.
Yeah.
Because I would get a load of. Well, I was watching YouTube, and it stopped working. It just stopped playing, and I did a reboot, and something I did, and then what it did was. I was trying to play a YouTube video, and then it came up, click here to enable video something. So I clicked, and it forced me to install an extension on Chrome. So I don't know, but what I've done is I've downloaded, what's it called? Casper something or another, Kaspersky antivirus. And it seems to have calmed down a little bit, but I've not got my sound back.
Yeah, Dave just said as what she built it would have been really nice seeing it running.
Yeah. Do you know what? Actually, that's a really good idea. I like that. The thing is, with the Orrerry, we've already printed the bits off, but I think I'm going to be printing off some. I think I've lost it. I kept dropping bits. Every time I get the bag out, I'm dropping bits. And I'm like, oh, and I thought that was me being clumsy. Turns out there was a hole in the bag, right in the bottom, but not right at the bottom, about an inch up. So what was happening is as I moved stuff, stuff was coming out of the hole. So I'm going to assume that I've lost some of the cogs. So at some point, I need to go through all of my parts and make sure I've got them all. And then reprint. So I might be able to do some, because I do actually like watching prints, and I do like putting them up. But yeah, so I'd like to. Right, guys, we've been streaming for nearly 4 hours, and I was tired before the stream started. Would anyone object to me or to us finishing the show?
No, that's good. That's good. Well, at least you've done that. It's a job done.
Yeah. I did enjoy building that, actually. I've been wanting to build it. I'm looking for my tin. I've been wanting to build it, and I've not been able to because of various reasons. And I would rather have done it live. I think I must have dropped them. This is what happens when I do things. Iris. Okay, 4 tons of paperwork just falling on the floor. Yeah, I was saying to Horlicks this morning, and he said, "Oh, you're gonna, whatever." And I said, "Well, I haven't had time to build it, and then to find it would have ended up an unannounced stream of me building this printer." But I think it's in, and then Horlicks said, "Yeah, there'll probably be time to do it tonight." And I went, "Yeah, okay, brilliant idea." Then I came home and saw my desk, and I just thought it's not going to happen. And then I just thought, let's force it, because if I don't, it won't ever get done. So, but yeah, tomorrow there's some prints they do. They have an SD card and they've got some example prints. So, oh, Steve, I got a question for you before I go, if you're still on. I'm getting a bit confused. One of this, either the Ender or the Ender Pro, they say that you can't heat it up, the bed, up to more than 80 degrees. But is that the one with the bed actually stuck on it? Because if you heat it up too high, it loses the adhesion. But that one, that bed isn't stuck to it. It's just a build plate that's stuck down. So can that be stuck up, heated up to any temperature? Because one thing I'd like to do, which is probably a little bit show-offy, is have one printer that I only use for PLA, another one that I only use for PETG, and then, different printers for different things, like 65. So can I heat my Ender 3 up beyond 65? I'm assuming I can, because it's not stuck bed. So, yeah, I've got, this is the only attempt I've ever made at PETG, and it's warped, which it shouldn't do. Apparently it's the same as, but that was round about when the printer was going anyway. So I think it's printer problem, not PETG. I've now got 2 rolls. I've got 2 rolls. Oh, somebody sent me this. This is a roll of black PETG, but there was no, normally there's a note comes in. So huge, massive thank you to somebody for this roll of PETG off my Amazon wish list. I've taken it off the Amazon wish list now, because this one was 18 quid, which I think is reasonably priced. This one was about 16 quid. But what I didn't notice is 10 quid postage. So that makes it 26 quid a roll. So, but I've got black filament now. So thank you, whoever that was. I really, really appreciate. Oh, it was you again, was it? Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. It just means that I can go ahead and I can try. I'll probably use I'll probably experiment with the white, with the yellow, and I'll print stuff off. I might actually do the enhancements for the printer in PETG black, but I'm not frightened to have a go now. So I bought that sample and it didn't work out, and I only had 10 meters, and once you've gone through the 10 meters, that's it, it's finished then, isn't it? So thank you so much. I owe you big time. So Horlicks, you're extremely quiet today. Horlicks?
Hello? All right.
I said extremely quiet today.
Oh no, it's these speakers. They're messing about again.
Oh, okay,
They just keep turning themselves off, and I have to turn them off and back on again. So I lost you all for a minute. What were you saying?
I was just saying about P40F20's very kindly bought me more filament.
Oh yeah, I saw that, and then it went off just when you were just starting to explain about it.
Yeah, basically having 2 rolls of PETG means that I'm now not frightened to give it a go. But I might do the printer enhancements in the black, because the black will go with the black printer.
Yeah.
So I'll have a little parts tray, and so little printer upgrades, and so give it another couple of weeks. You'll see some nice little add-ons for the printer, which are all free off Thingiverse. So, week 2 of the Orrerry, have we persuaded anyone to get a 3D printer? Would you agree that Ender is a beginner printer on the basis of building it alone? What do you think, Horlicks?
No, I think
a couple of issues which
I don't
between me and Steve we sorted it, but me and Steve have got some 3D printer knowledge. My only concern would be if you have never touched 3D printers before, never watched anything on YouTube or anything and bought one, would you have some worries? But there's a lot of Facebook. I tend to think if anyone's got half a brain and they've got problems, they would hit a Facebook group or something.
Yeah.
Is that a harsh statement?
I mean, I normally do. If I have anything wrong with anything, the car, the first place I go is YouTube or the internet. But yeah, I think if you
and also Steve Graham has said on price it is. Now, what would that fetch, do you reckon, of second hand? Let's say I bought it. Let's say I've never done 3D printing before. I bought it, I've assembled it, or I haven't assembled it. And I decide for whatever reason 3D printing isn't for me. And I decide I'm going to get rid of it. How much do you think I'd lose out on with 175? It's got to be worth 100, 150? I'm just thinking, save up 175. I mean, it's a lot of money for some people, but save up, have a go. If it don't work out, then sell it on or donate it to the library or something. I don't know.
I don't think they'd want that rattling off in there when they're trying to read their book.
Right, come on. Yeah, I'll be. Do you know what made me laugh was this is a true statement. Someone said to someone, "Oh, what do you print off on the 3D printer?" And the very quick answer is, "Well, stuff for the 3D printer."
I think we just said they look amazing, right? He doesn't have use for them at the moment. We're doing Orrerry projects. There is a use for it right now.
Yeah. But also, what the reason I bought the printer isn't the reason I ended up using it for. I just thought, terrain and figures, and I don't print figures or terrain off on it, and now I print these stupidly mad projects off. So you will find something, and the only thing is if you get hooked on it too much, the filament. I mean, how much do I spend on? I spend 40 quid a week sometimes on filament, and that's with one printer. Now I've got 2 printers, and what happens when I get a third one?
That is mad. I mean, I barely get through. I mean, that roll that P thought he got me, that'll probably last me a year.
Yeah, but look what I'm printing with, and I'm getting so much. I've got a whole roll. The last roll I put in, the whole roll came out on fail prints, and that fail print eats up the printer, eats up the filament, because you print and then it fails, and then you straighten and you print again.
You can print Lego bricks with your 3D printer.
Yeah, you can print places to put your Lego bricks. Right, guys, ending the show. It's coming up for midnight.
Yeah,
we've been on way too long. So
Okay.
thank you so much for everyone for watching. I'm trying to keep my eyes open. I will let Horlicks close the show.
Okay, yeah. So thank you for watching. See you all next Saturday. Well, actually, see you Wednesday because we'll be on Wednesday before.
Oh yeah, because you're going to actually turn up this time and not swan off to sunny Spain.
Well, I don't know. Carl was talking about going to Germany.
Really? Oh,
I
bless
don't
him.
know. So no. Yeah, we'll see you on Wednesday, and then yeah, that's it from us. Until then, have a good sleep, I suppose.
Okay. Take care then, guys. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.